Action! Assuming the button goes at the right time I say, otherwise I'll be like, hello.
Hey everyone.
Hello. We are returned.
We have. It's almost like it's a conspiracy of sorts that we show up on your screens at the same time.
Or we
All the
just
time.
do a show many times.
Actually, we're on time today. Like almost right on time. Sweet.
Yeah, no technical
Some...
problems, no Skype, just
Yep.
everything worked. It is actually relatively irregular.
Yes.
So that's nice. How are you doing, Stuart?
I am wonderful. If you were here yesterday, you know about the wasp nest situation, but it's been taken care of.
Yes.
It's actually yellow jackets, just so you know.
Good. Maybe not good. I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad or not.
Well, it is good. That way I don't have to take off and move a car and stuff, like while we're with these fine fellows.
Or like bulldoze the house or anything.
Yes.
Dale Stafford says, has anyone seen the original uncensored? I don't know if it was only shown once at first airing. I have on videotape somewhere. There's more gore than later versions. I don't think it was censored off the Blu-ray. I think that's the correct version. I don't think it'd be more censored. I just think it was censored than the original.
I think they added some stuff to this, though. At the end, after he got blowed up, spoilers, there's little alien things all around him.
I
don't
remember seeing that either.
Don't think those were there before, unless I'm very much mistaken. I think they added those for the remastered.
I can take a look at the original version, but yeah, that surprised me. I was like, I've watched this how many times? I've never seen that before.
Yep.
And that's hefty spoilers. That's hefty. Like we're skipping right to the end. I know that's on a different drive, so I can't check, but we'll get there when we get there. And I'm wondering, this one I think is relatively well liked.
Yes.
So hopefully more people will jump in and say hi and help support the channel for the end.
Well, Dan23 says there's an HD original comparison video you should check out by TrekCore. I'll have to check that out later.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
Yeah.
They always do.
Well, yes. So, do you want to give your spiel what you thought of this episode? Then, when I'm giving mine, or I had to read it because you said I did it out of order yesterday, vamping.
Yeah, I've got to share while you vamp. That's the that's the next stage.
All right, let's do that.
I'll see you there.
Dum-dum. Yes. So he's going to go do the thing where he shares this video around, and you know the routine, guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to sit here and quiet because I do it every night. But no, I shouldn't because there might be new people here. Guys, super chats are important, so thank you very much to anyone that super chats. Thank you to all who watch as well. Very important. If you can't afford a super chat, one of the best ways to help us out is to share the video around and just spread the good Trek Yards word. Go around knocking on doors. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Trek Yards? You know, point them in the direction of the YouTube channel. That would be very helpful. Also, there's links in the description below. You can help us out by purchasing some of our cool Trek Yard swag over on Teesprings. As I said, the links for all those are in every description of every video, so check that out. Also, Eagle Moss. If you like Eagle Moss ships and want to save yourself some money, you can use the discount code TrekYards when you check out, so that's helpful as well. You can also head on over to trekyards.com, click the donate button, which puts it directly into our PayPal. Or another way to PayPal during these lives, because as you guys know, YouTube takes 30% right off the top of every super chat. So if you want to give us a little bit more, one of the best ways to do that is PayPal. Mention it in the chat, and the moderators will let us know. We'll check the PayPal and read your question or comment there. So yeah, lots of ways to help out, but super chats are great. They're important, and get your voice heard, your question read, your comment. I'm going to say your comment answered, your comment read, your question answered, and makes you a good part of the community. We got a lot of regulars all the time, and they're super great with that kind of thing. So I look forward to seeing that today. And if you're new to the channel, if you want to become one of the regulars, please feel free. We really like seeing new people here. So, and yeah, these lives are generally at the same time every week, at least, well, same time of day, but the days vary depending on the week, depending on what's going on. So we try to keep it pretty consistent, but you know, sometimes life happens. So But thank you everyone that's here. And yeah, this is a much loved episode, and hopefully the numbers show that tonight. We already got 57, which is good. We usually have like 40 some odd about this point. Generally in about an hour, we'll be up to about 120 people. So hopefully we'll keep an eye on those numbers and make sure everything's good. 57 of you, though, please hit like. Let's get up to 50 likes right away. Make Jeff pay, one of our moderators, assuming he's going to tonight. We don't expect that from him, obviously, but he does such a great job of that. So hi, moderators. Hi, everyone else. Yeah. And Starfleet is completely barren, unlike how we see it during Star Trek 4. Well, yeah, they make a point of that, actually, when they beam down. It's like, oh, this corridor was jam-packed last time we were here. What's going on? Oh, it's just a slow time of night. So I don't know if they deliberately, like Starfleet, the conspiracy guys, deliberately closed down that section of Starfleet. Who knows? But just like, yeah, laughing my ass off. Yes, hashtag make Jeff pay. And hello, Ian. Ian Warrender is here, another one of our moderators. These guys are great. Dale is probably here as well. So thank you to all of you guys. You do a fantastic job, and we love our moderators. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, and you can't super chat, one of the best ways to draw the attention of the moderators, and they will ensure that we see your comment or questions. So
it's me, Samuel.
You're even wearing the right color to say that.
Okay. Yeah.
But we have our first super chat, so great timing, Commander. David Bessig throws in $10. What a great way to get started. Thank you very much, David. I'm here. Yes. I need to count as at least 3 people, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would.
You are a very special to us, David Bessig, so thank you very much for joining us yet again.
Super. But yes, Stuart, then well, let's go back to any first memories of this episode for your rewatch. What was your sort of mental thoughts beforehand?
I remember loving this one as a kid. A lot of people said it when they were younger. Like, okay, you got to remember that. Actually, I figured it out. I was 15. I was the same age as Wesley, so we can gauge how old I was watching TNG by how old Wesley is, because the same age. Yeah. So, I remember watching it, going, "This is cool. How did they get this on TV? And how did they get that effect of his head exploding?" And then later we find out the behind the scenes where they blew up some meat and it was like stuck in the rafters for like months, and it's just disgusting. So I remember really enjoying this episode. There were a few things I had forgotten, to be honest. I remember broader strokes of stories generally. I don't really remember the nuances. So going back and like a lot of times I remember the A plot, and the B plot throws me off. So when an episode starts with the B plot, I'm like, what episode is this? But Sylvia makes up for that, because she knows everything within the first 10 seconds of an episode, and can name it. But so yeah, I remember really enjoying this, and I gotta say, on rewatch, it was really well done. A few issues maybe that I'll have with it, but overall, it's a thumbs up from me. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. This one, I think, is a this one I think really does. It breaks the mold in so many big ways that this is a very Gene Roddenberry was pushed out of production, season 7. He has nothing to do with it. It got through. Nothing to do with him. Like, this is so un-Gene Roddenberry in many, many ways, at least in the generic sense of what he would and would not want to do. And so it stands out as a beacon of, that's weird. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And I was reading earlier today that apparently this was a lead up to the Borg thing, because apparently these little parasites were actually working with or for the Borg as a prelude to invasion. And then in the next episode, Neutral Zone, we get the colonies that are just scooped out and gone. And spoilers for that one too, guys. But it never went anywhere because of the writer's strike. And by the time they got around to actually using the Borg storyline, it was later in season 2. So quite a few months too late. And this one just never went anywhere and fizzled out.
And obviously, originally Borg were meant to be like insectoids, so that would have linked. But as soon as they became robots, then it wouldn't make sense. So obviously, very vaguely conceptually, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it makes, and again, very unlike Star Trek TNG to have overarching storylines as well. But if they were thinking that far, so you know what I mean. This whole thing's very unusual because it actually brings back characters. So what? You know what I mean? So it's quite
because and one thing if I remember asking quite a while ago on Facebook was, are there any recurring characters in TOS? I mean, there's a few of the ship personnel that show up a couple times, but the only real recurring character is Harry Mudd. Other than that, there's no kind of continuity in that regard.
Yep.
And every other series has, you know, people that pop in and out. So
Seska. Yeah.
Yeah.
She even pops up twice after she's dead. That's a good villain should.
As you do, yes. I have plans myself.
Well, you'll have like thousands of videos of you between your 40s and your 90s to go back to.
Be like Tupac, you know, after he dies, there's a posthumous, like, there's many albums because he's got so much recorded. So don't worry, after I die, guys, you're going to have lots and lots of Captain Foley still. New stuff.
Hello,
I wonder if I'm alive or not.
Welcome to Picard. I'm Captain Foley, and I'm here to talk to you about diapers in the Star Trek universe. Oh no, speaking of.
I need to go for a moment.
Anyway, so I like this episode. It is very unusual. I think it's a novelty factor. It's obviously good, but because it's so radically different, it's a fun novel watch. And unlike a couple of the other episodes recently where the build-up has been interesting, and then last week especially, this one's like, done. Like, it actually builds a pretty heightened place. I've seen this one probably the most of all TNG Season 1, so it was much more... I knew it. So I didn't really see much else this year. Although I did just look back to the Dan 23's SD vs HD, and yeah, the bugs were there in the SD. Neither of us just noticed them.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they, like, different color or something?
Not really. Just, I guess, more orange, but yeah, about the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now we know. Jarzia, though, throws in $5 Canadian, so thank you very much. I was 1.5 months old when it aired. TNG was my fave show, and about 2.5 years old. From about 2.5 years old, but my parents didn't let me watch this one till I was 12 or 13. See, I would never think of censoring this for my kids. I let my kids watch a lot of stuff they probably shouldn't have. They watched kind of what I watched. So, you know, you can't shelter them from the world and what life is like too much, I don't think. But that's just my parenting position. I don't think this one was over the top for kids, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's contextual. I mean, I think you should scare kids because it teaches them.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And if
You'll be a fine parent, Samuel.
Thank you. Yeah, if you shelter people too much and don't experience, it's good to, unfortunately, be bullied. It's good to be whatever because it makes you stronger, and people get nicer as they grow older, theoretically, and just better around you. It's like I don't like kids having iPads to the same extent because you don't learn to write, you don't learn to look for things. You need to limit it and.
Don't get me started on that whole situation.
Yeah, it's
iPads and iPhones are not babysitters, guys. They're tools. They're not for kids. And yes, they should writing in school. But that's another topic altogether. We won't get into that.
In an episode of graphic violence, talking about kids, and there you go. Perfect.
And cursive writing. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the episode.
And apologies, guys. The Skype is going to keep jumping a little bit because it tells me poor connectivity, even though we have absolutely amazing connectivity. That's just the way the framing is. It'll pop round. But yes, yeah, that's our summary. Yeah, it's alright.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to... Hello, everyone. This is our special guest. I have a special guest on Trek Guards this evening. Ho ho ho.
Nice.
No, yes, no. Okay, I'll be.
He looks so young.
Anyway.
And guys, please do super chat. We rely on those supports. 106 people watching, which is brilliant. 56 people who've liked it. So click like. This is our preamble. And yeah, please super chat as we get going. So Stuart, we start off with
is this a preamble or a pre-ramble?
Is it a pre-Rambo? New Rambo is coming out. It's pre that film. Makes sense.
Oh God.
First scene.
Blood. Oh no, no, we don't. Not first scene. Super chat. Jarzio,
Oh.
$2 Canadian.
Hey.
Captain Foley with the Ferengi view screen zoom. LOL. Just need a white background.
Human.
Oh man. Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Pacifica.
Yes, they're en route to Pacifica. And then we get into Geordie's joke, which... Oh, Jeff Jacobs puts in $2. 50 likes in the first 15 minutes. Nice. Again at 100. Sweet. Yeah, guys, let's get to 100. Let's make Jeff pay.
Make him. He loves it. He wants to pay. That's kind of the joke.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think about this first scene, the intro to a very dark episode? It starts with a joke.
I loved it. I thought it showed like the boredom on the bridge. Data's just kind of sitting there facing Geordie. They're not like at their stations ready to go all the time. You know, there's lots of time and space to do nothing.
21 and a half hours at warp in a straight line.
Yep.
So how's the sex life? It's like, what?
Well, the joke is about that. Try doing that in hyperspace.
Which I literally, why would I get it? I don't think I got it this time finally.
Sweet.
Is he can't get up, right? That's the idea.
I would assume so. Yes.
And hyperspace again. What is this hyperspace ship? It's not Stargate.
Those are the old days. This is an old joke. Tom Azeros 48 puts in $5 Canadian. I agree with scaring the kids thing, but the gore aspect troubles me even as an saying. Well, it's not really gory. You just tell your kids it's fake. It's just a packet of meat they explode.
And again, contextual. Laser beam equals blow epi face. It's like Galaxy Quest. He exploded. That's a PG film. Like that's totally fine. It's just like he just turned his head out and exploded. Well, that's okay. It's more graphic, but it's just a simple idea.
But it was a pig monster. It wasn't a human.
It was.
I think that's the difference there. Yeah. And it exploded. But this one, you got to think that the mother creature's inside his chest, so you're killing the alien. Yeah, Remick was a casualty, I guess, but Remick was a dick, so who cares?
And for all we know,
if my kids were like, oh my god, that poor man, I'd be like, okay, watch this episode. Yeah, he's a dick. All right, it's fine. Moving along. He got what he deserved.
Well, we agreed he wasn't that much of a dick in the last episode, but I know what you mean.
I know.
But we'll get to them. That's a lot to talk about. But I actually do like this joke a lot. Data's infamous laugh, which he attempts to fix a few times. And can you imagine the acting, like the challenge of that? It says in the script, and Data laughs, and it's like, right, I can go anywhere with this. I liked Brent's direction. That's a good direction.
Yeah. Well, David Bessick though likes us because he put in $10 super chat. So thank you again, David. You're amazing. Speaking of bored, did you see Eric Henry's video on the size of the Enterprise D versus its crew size? The odds of you even bumping into someone is like 100 to 1. The ship's internal volume is huge. So much space. Yeah, I did watch that actually last night, and I was pretty impressed by it. I love the way he does his videos. And he can even compare the Connie to the size, and then the aircraft carrier with the 6,000 people on the aircraft
so familiar,
carrier.
isn't it, Stuart? It's not like they've done a show very similar to that. Almost anyway.
Well, we haven't released it though.
I know. I'm just saying.
So they don't even know what you're talking about.
I know. Yeah, but although most of the space isn't being used, so you say that, but only certain routes are used. So you are going to bump into people all the time because only certain routes are being used.
We mentioned it in our Galaxy class multi-part episode where we went in depth with the Galaxy class. There are decks that are they're not being used because they don't need them right now. If there's a scientific survey or something, they need a science crew to come on board. They will fire up those areas of the ship. They're in the inner part of the saucer. You don't need them. Why use them? You have the room for evacuations and emergencies and a whole bunch of other reasons. So,
and it's like if you have science labs that are all relatively interchangeable, you're not going to choose, right, every new science lab turned on for a new project will be on opposite ends of the ship. It's like, no, we'll use deck 7. Okay, everyone has deck 7. We'll open deck 8. There wouldn't be this random whatever and then little storages and stuff. So it's a lot of empty space, but doesn't mean I think it would bump into people a lot of the time.
Well, Judge 1981 throws in $10 as well. So thank you. I got your email. I emailed you back. Samuel, you still have to message him and tell him what's up.
Yes.
Because I missed most of this live talk. Well, this has been an interesting pre-ramble as we figured out. So if you want to go back and watch it later, it's worth it, I think. So, but thank you very much for showing up, and thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated.
Very, very amazing. Thank you. And $10 do make a massive difference. Just saying, that's like such a special number. It's like, oh. Yes, good joke, good laughing, good scene, good moment. And then we get a dumb moment. No, well, we're not quite there yet.
No.
Okay.
There's still like the casual talk, like, oh, we should probably increase to warp 6 to get to Pacifica sooner.
That's what it is, yeah.
I've been looking forward to a nice swim. And then Data's like, Counselor, don't you know that the holodeck can recreate an oceanic experience? It's not the same, Data. Have you bathed in moonlight? You can bathe in moonlight? What? Or swam in moonlight. Swimming is too much like bathing, says Worf. So I guess he not a fan of baths.
That's a little bit mean.
Well, he said it himself.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That was bad writing. It's funny, but it's bad writing.
How does he maintain his lilac, the earthy, peaty smell? By not bathing.
Yeah, I was expecting a different joke of like, only swim in battle. We only swim in full battle armor to test the soul.
In blood.
And blood wine, yeah. And then you get the best moment ever. No, you don't.
Well, we get the Omega Directive. I mean, Code 47.
Yes, but you missed the thing I'm trying to get to. So,
how
far are we? 22 hours. Okay, let's up to warp 6, which itself is very slow, which implies that probably like warp 4. So if you're at warp 4 to warp 6, you're that 22 hours will go down to like 15. Just do warp 8, it'll be down to like 6. It's a lot of time you're wasting. And then to warp 6, and Geordie says, "Aye, sir, full impulse."
Does he?
And it's like, what? Yep.
I missed that. Wow.
Aye, sir, full impulse after warp 6 enhanced warp order. Fire the man from the bridge. This is why he's fired.
That's why he becomes chief engineer, because they're like, this guy's an idiot. You can't have him flying the ship anymore.
He's blind and deaf and can't use anything. And that really should have been fixed it's ADR. That really should have been fixed in Remaster, because that is a no reason error to keep in. That's stupid. Ugh. It's as bad as Discovery firing torpedoes from its nacelles.
Oh God,
there is no excuse. There is no excuse. It's just wrong and stupidity and lazy. And it's like, they do it too, guys. They do it too. See, I
didn't catch that. I can't believe I didn't catch that.
You see, all Trek does it wrong. But yes, Signal 47, Code 47, which is the classic. That's the number of Trek. Is 47. It's in everything.
Yes. But it's the Starfleet emergency frequency, and Code 47 means for captain's eyes only. So for the rest of this review, you guys are gonna have to tune out, and only captains can watch.
So I'll just turn off my own audio and walk away and just let you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll notify you when I need you. David Bessick though puts in $2.
Hey.
Bizarre torpedoes to get them there faster. Yeah, the bizarre torpedoes.
No. No.
Yes.
He meant Bassard, yeah. Now this is an interesting signal because it's for captain's eyes only. It is a voice scan, and it's neither recorded in the log and also any records of it deleted after the fact. So it's very secure, but not quite secure enough for Captain Walker.
Yes. Well, we should point out too that it's not to be discussed with fellow officers unless deemed absolutely necessary as well. But yeah, he's like, we have to talk face to face. I can't tell you over subspace. And Picard's like, this is a secure channel. That's what this is for.
It's the most secure channel possible. And he literally says like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, for God's sakes, Walker, this is a secure channel. Yeah.
But why is he calling him though? What is that important, Stuart? What is the implication?
Just that there's something going on, man. No, meet me on Talix B. You owe me and you owe it to yourself. Ditalic, sorry. You owe it to me and you owe it to yourself. Don't trust anyone.
Even me? No, I'm
that implies that, yeah.
Even my protege, the Black Captain? Yes, you can trust her. It's fine, don't worry. I trust her explicitly. Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting fact about her when I get it later, too. That I want to point out.
I'm glad you mentioned the "you owe it to me" is a good line by itself, and "to yourself" is an even better line. It's like, I'm not blackmailing you. It's this important. It's actually quite. Okay, I'll say it here because this is a good. You start noticing it. This episode has incredibly short scenes and a billion of them.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes. It made for interesting pacing. It kind of moved everything along.
Yeah, and then you feel like a lot. I mean, when you think of this episode, I always found when I was younger, I associated the clandestine meeting we're about to get to being in an earlier episode as a prequel scene.
Yeah.
I always thought this was enough of an episode, but it's all in one episode because so much happens, and nothing's padding, and very little is over the top. It's very like fine tuned, and they've put a lot in. And also I have a note here: creepy music. A lot of music in this one, and pretty good.
Yep.
It's a little bit intrusive, but it does tell the tale very well, so I'll give it a pass.
Well, Eugene is here. He throws in 2,000 rubles.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Much appreciated. Disguise 709 replies to Janeway, yes, they are Borg. It's a long story. We don't speak about it with outsiders. It's funny you mentioned that because we just watched Trials and Tribulations last night. So, but yeah.
Thanks, Eugene.
This is kind of out of time, though. Anyway. But yeah, so they change course to a mining colony in the nearby Mira system.
And you can't
Warp
tell
7.
anyone. Keep it off the record.
Warp 7 and no records of this. Yep.
But do you notice
the mining colony?
Well, do you notice how when the plot deems that it's something fishy, sometimes like earlier in the season when Picard wasn't Picard, as soon as they change orders, Riker's like walks in, "Sir, tell me what's going on. You always tell me everything. Tell me." And this one's like, "I don't care. Weird orders is fine, but when it's important, they challenge him." He's like, "I can't tell anyone." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love how the slightly double standards there, but good. We didn't need that. And it just shows that when they are that concerned, it's like, why are you that concerned? He doesn't have to tell you everything.
Well, last time
He's a captain.
He changed orders without a incoming code 47. So with the incoming code 47, Riker knows not really to ask any questions.
Yeah, but it could be a nefarious 47. I mean, any captain could do it for any other captain. I'm sure any admiral could do it for any other admiral. And we've seen the amount of dodgy admirals.
Yeah, not really, not yet. Not yet. We haven't seen a lot of dodgy admirals. But
anyway,
yeah,
we're gonna warp to that place.
We find out that one side of this mining colony always faces the sun, so one side's like 180 degrees all the time. Why are we going to this planet? Says Geordi. But they show up in orbit, and I want to put this out. There's 2 frigates, the Renegade and the Thomas Paine, in orbit already, and then the Ambassador class heavy cruiser, the USS Horatio, comes in. So we already know that Walker is in charge of the Horatio. But later, when we meet Captain Scott, the black lady, she was she rose to the ranks of captain faster than anyone in Starfleet history. You're telling me they assigned her a frigate? Why? If she's that good a captain, shouldn't she have a heavy cruiser, much like the Ambassador, or
she's that good for a frigate.
Well, no. If you're the youngest Starfleet captain in Starfleet history, that should get you something better. Kirk got a Constitution class, and he was the youngest at the time. So, I'm just saying.
I mean, frigate in itself is such an infrequent used word when it comes to Starfleet ships. And what of every other ship in Star Trek would be a frigate classified? I mean,
well, they're used a lot in Starfleet battles. Like a scout class ship is the same as a frigate. So like the Saladin class, or the smaller.
Well, I mean, stick to the big cannon. What would you class as a frigate? I don't know if I can think of anything that would be classed as a frigate. Instantly, I'm thinking, it's a civilian ship, where it's a very, very low end. Like the Mirandas are converted. I mean, it's not a carrier, it's not a cruiser. It's like she got a shitty assignment. Like that's a nothing ship. That's not even getting a 100-year-old Excelsior. It's like, well, they were good once. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Yeah.
Although, jump back for 1 second, just funny, the pacing, from pacing, they say, go to warp, and then the ship's already at warp, and then it turns around and goes back to warp, even though you can just turn at warp, and Small thing, but it's like they give us pace even though they're already at warp, and it's like you're already at warp. Why are you going back to warp? No.
Yeah.
Small thing. But pacing, they do a lot of exteriors in this episode. It's the same few again and again, but a lot of exteriors.
With the eerie music to set the tone of something's not right here. Yeah.
And wasn't it cool to hear an ambassador class?
Yeah. We don't know what they look like at this point, though.
No.
So
It was fun to say. Although Renegade is not a good name for a starship, and Thomas Paine is what it is. Renegade, really? It's a frigate, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought that too.
They should have let Mike Okuda, hire him first.
Maybe it's an Andorian name, because everybody complains that they're always named after human things. Maybe it's an Andorian name, and the translation is just Renegade. And so they just said Renegade because it's English, right? Who knows?
Martin Devereaux says Sabre class is a frigate.
Yes.
Although since all the books are something different, hard to say. New Orleans frigate again. There's literally no information about that. It was a kit bash in one episode that Eagle Moss did the information on, so maybe, but it wasn't designed to be one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The words frigate and scout are always mixed. Like if it's scout class, it'll be a frigate class, or vice versa, or a fast corvette or a fast frigate. There's different.
But I just mean frigate is not a used term in the fleet dynamic, so it's just weird to.
Well, 127 people watching. Everybody hit like. Let's get to 100 likes. Make Jeff pay. We can easily get to 100 likes because 27 of you guys are slackers and you're not going to hit the like button. But the rest of you are awesome. You're going to hit it right now. But Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian. Picard got his first command at 28, 4 years before Kirk, but he didn't necessarily have the rank of captain at the time. I believe he was a lieutenant commander. His first command at 28. I'd have to check on that. Although what is it, Starfleet Online or Star Trek Online, where you get like an ensign gets a ship?
I mean, we know that Sisko got command of DS9 at Commander. So maybe Picard was in command of a station or an outpost. He definitely wasn't in command of a starship as Lieutenant Commander. That's silly. I haven't read the Picard book because that's the sort of thing where if the producers want to change it, they just will. So it's not canon really until it is. Like, I'm sure we'll get some more nuggets of Picard's lineage when we get to Picard, but yeah. Anyway,
but there are 3 life signs on the planet, and Captain's like, I'm beaming down alone, number 1.
Risky.
So yeah, it is extremely risky. But again, Riker knows that it's Code 47. He really can't do much until something happens. So.
And we see a Bolian variant, I believe. Meant to be a Bolian.
Not sure. Not sure. I'd have to look that up.
But it's nice that the one-off. I mean, it took money to do this for him. It's nice we've got a throwaway alien because it's like good, diverse, and then his friend, and then a black lady. Yay! And what?
I was just gonna. Oh, no, go ahead. Continue what you were saying.
The diversity is good if you don't mention it. Her being black and a female had no part of anything, but she was.
They didn't say you were the youngest
black female
captain in Starfleet history.
Well done, you got captain, you black person. That's not a thing. So it's just odd to have, the sneaker modern green stuff. It's like, but it's not an issue.
I love how Wesley grills him. How did we first meet?
Wesley.
Bar on,
Walker.
Whatever it is. Walker, yeah.
Yes.
Bar on Tau Ceti 3, a rather exotic bar, if I recall.
That was fun.
Strip bar club or something.
And how many strippers could you give you a lap dance? 4. Oh no, 5. Yes, the one behind me.
I was too drunk at that point to remember. So, but yeah, and talks about Beverly. You didn't know. I didn't know Beverly then. My brother introduced you. You don't have a brother. You have 2 sisters. He was really trying to throw him off with what he was saying. So that was really well done. I really liked that.
Yeah, and Picard's frustration is plainly felt, but at the same token, he's willing to humor them. It's a good banter, because if you think about it, he knows these people. He's met one, he reputation the other one. Like, this is a sense of these guys have got to captain, so I'll let them do their shit because they're captains. Okay, maybe just of frigates. But I mean, I'm the flagship, mother effer. Who are you? You are a 50-year-old ship, and you are both shitty frigates. Flagship.
Pretty much, yeah.
Who's bigger? Mine. What's better? Mine. Who's newer? Mine. You know.
Who's balder? Me.
No. Bolian guy.
Well, yeah, but he's got the ridge. So. Jarzia puts in $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
Now, no, that's from canon sources. He took command of the Stargazer in 2333, born in 2305. He got command after the captain and XO were killed, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the field command. So, did he get bumped up in rank after they returned to captain because he did such a good job?
I mean, I would call it acting captain rather than
Exactly. Yeah.
in command, but acting in command. I mean, by that same logic, if if you're the only person left on a space station, you took command. It's like, I was the only person to take command. It's like, you were, but, I'm not, and also canon sources, so that sounds actually in an episode as text, because that's the only, because that wasn't said in screen. So, I'm just saying that's what canon means.
Yeah, well, Captain...
But cool.
Point out, too, that the Bolian here, his name is Captain Rix.
Yes.
The other lady is Captain Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And again, made the fastest captain anyone in Starfleet history. Starfleet's finest are assembled here, he says.
Yet
That's
on frigates.
Right. Yep.
Where's the captain of the Yamato then? Or the Galaxy?
Yeah,
I mean, those are the two Galaxy classes. I mean, wouldn't that have been cool if the whole point of this was Galaxy's Starship's finest, and they just did like a Corbomite maneuver or Enterprise incident or whatever, where they just clone ships in post. So it's like, as the Enterprise D comes in, you see two other Galaxy classes or three other just sitting there, and it's like, wow, all three Galaxy classes in the same place? This must be serious. Finest in Starfleet, we all have a Galaxy class. And she's like, yes, I got a Galaxy class 35 years before you. Ha ha. Because that would be impressive.
They're brand new a year ago. But that's okay.
Well, I mean, I got the command of one, and you're 60, gotcha. I'm 27. Ha ha. Yeah. I meant that, but yeah, not really finest in Starfleet if they're given shitty ships.
Yeah. So they ask, have you noticed anything unusual with Starfleet Command? And Picard's like, no, we've been on the Outer Rim, haven't had much contact with them.
Great answer.
But apparently there's weird shit happening. Mysterious deaths, reassignments, shuffling of personnel.
A starbase.
Starbase 12 was evacuated for 2 days with no explanation. Yep.
I like that because I like story plots that don't go anywhere and present the mystery, because you can put anything into that. Why, when, who? That's interesting. Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot to do, and 12's kind of important one as well, I think.
Yeah. We also find out that there's the whole conspiracy talk, and the weakness that they find in everybody is a lack of memory. That's why there's these like all these questions to establish that it's the person that we're actually talking to. So be on the lookout. Keep in touch with us covertly. Although
you would think that they would read everything they can, because that's a pretty massive weakness. What happened yesterday? I don't know. What did you have for breakfast? Don't know. Lunch? Don't know. Dinner? I did have dinner. It was worms.
That's why you ask obscure stuff like, no, it was my brother that introduced. You don't have brothers, you throw them off, right?
But it's just funny. That's quite a serious weakness.
Yeah. Well, he's told when he's leaving this meeting never took place as far as Starfleet is concerned. Now, the one thing that throws me is he said, tell Beverly I said hello. But he also said that right after he said, don't tell anybody about this meeting. This meeting never happened. On the bridge and goes, I saw the Horatio was here. Did you see Walker? And he's like, no. It's just odd that Walker said, say hello to Beverly for me right after saying this meeting never took place.
And also, who the hell told Beverly? Because think about it.
What, Horatio was there?
Well, yeah, I mean,
she said she saw the Horatio was there. Remember, she was looking out a window and saw, hey, it's an ambassador class. Look at hey, it's a Horatio. Sweet.
But there's no way she's going to see the text of it.
Well, it could be really close to the ship. You don't know where they are.
It wasn't in the flybys. See, this is one of the things I wish every milestone actually added stuff to. It's like, would it really kill them to just do a, ooh.
Just have the Galaxy class, have the ambassador come in beside it, like.
Well, it'd be I guess that. Yeah, just would that really have killed them? Like, out of New Orleans, like you said, really?
Yeah.
Would have really added something and just missed opportunities, Especially as they have miniature footage. Like, it wouldn't be that disingenuous if they just went through the miniature archives. They already went through everything and said, right, these are the 22 shots of a ambassador we have. That one, we'll put that in. You know. I guess most of the time they're damaged, but there is a little bit of ambassador work in.
But then there's that fine line of remastering and totally stepping on everything that all the special effects people did before, and the pacing and the setup, and then you got to extend the music. You got to do all that extra stuff.
I just mean specifically in that shot where they're going to the planet, the red one. It's just imposed D. Just add chips in the background. That would be it. You wouldn't need to change anything. And they couldn't do it because of money. That was it. They would have if they could have.
Yeah.
Because it's such obvious space for ships. And it would be small. But yeah, I know what you mean. Just as a missed opportunity that I would have added some stuff to. And there's 2 shots with that as well.
Yeah. So he gets on the ship, and the first thing he does is tell Deanna everything that happened in his ready room. I know she's the counselor, but he was also told not to tell anybody about this, you know. But he goes on to tell her that, you know, Walter Keel and Jack Crusher are his 2 closest friends. So the people involved are of the very highest caliber. That's the only reason I'm entertaining the fact that, you know, it's the only reason I'm entertaining the idea that this is a thing, because I know that they're the top of the top, the best of the best. And she's like, should you tell the crew? He says, I'm not going to tell the crew so I don't implicate them as well, just in case. So just a really good scene with her, but I don't know why he would go and tell her right away. I don't know if I would tell my counselor on my command. I don't know. That's just...
Well, considering what happened last week, she's being very invasive. I'm assuming he walks into the ship, walks to the briefing room, sits down. He's like pondering, and she can feel so much confusion and thoughts. And she walks in and saying, Captain 47, what's going on? And he's like, okay. He has to confide. I'm assuming that's like she falls out of him.
I love that. They should have added that though.
He didn't go to her. No. Yeah. No.
She's just being nosy. But they goes back on the bridge and says warp 9 to Pacifica. Warp 9 now to Pacifica because they're late for to meet the governor or whatever it was. That'll make us arrive 9 hours late. Whatever. He says, Data, I have a special project that only you're good for, essentially. And then, Beverly comes on and says, did you see Walker? At least I assume. Yeah. So, and he says no. He did not see Walker, even though Walker said to say hi to her. So he's obeying his orders with the order 47, but yeah.
Yes.
Are you all right?
Yep, just reading the chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and they say, Dad, we've got a special mission for you. Basically, look through all the data ever. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Just my cheeky little grim.
Mm-hmm. And then there is a disturbance in a nearby sector 63. Can't tell what it is, but they're going to investigate. And they arrive, and there's wreckage. And it turns out it's the wreckage of the Horatio. So
this scene kind of annoyed me.
I knew it would.
Why do you think it annoys me?
For multiple reasons. The fact that there's a disturbance and they can't tell what it was. They can't tell whether there's an explosion, whatever. It just seems kind of vague. But yeah. And later, when they ask the guys at Starfleet what happened to the ratio, instead of explosion, he says implosion, failure, neglect from its captain. Yeah, negligence. So implosion, but I don't know if that was just a phrase that he was using or...
Yeah.
Explosion and explosion are 2 completely different things.
It's daft because... So we know sensors are pretty good. You can communicate at warp. That's not a problem. I mean, the fact... Yes.
I was going to say, and they just left the Horatio.
We don't know how many hours, to be fair.
Yeah, but they both left the same point. And if they're both going at the same speed, they're still going to be relatively close to each other, I think. I don't know.
Okay, so we know that Horatio guy phoned Picard. Flawless direct transmission. He was obviously right close to the planet.
Yeah.
You can do that. So if you can talk to people at subspace, you can scan them. Wirelessly relaying a signal versus scanning is definitely different because obviously you have to connect to the ship. So if the ship is... I'm just reading what you said, but I want to say it in my own words, obviously. A disturbance is a stupid term. Normally you'd say, oh, explosion, because they already should know what it is. Even at, say, 10 hours at warp later, first they say, it's a long way away, okay, we'll go investigate. And then a minute later, Geordie's like, yes, but it's so close to the other planet. It's like, well, which is it? Either you've gone so far away you can't detect it, or you're so close that it must be the other guy. You can't be both. Especially if he's going in a different direction, then it's even further. It's nonsensical, and there would be... If there's an antimatter explosion, they would know it was an antimatter explosion. No ifs or buts. I was, honestly, because there was no antimatter explosion, I was expecting, at the end, for the Admirals to say, yes, we sent a ship to destroy them. Because I thought there's no other reason why it'd be destroyed. It's destroyed in such a weird way. Nothing was left. No people, because people, like, stuff survives. Unless you try not to make it survive. You know.
Well, it's mentioned it's sabotage, so I assume somebody on the crew was part of the conspiracy and destroyed the ship from within. Fleetpod Swiftback puts in a $1.99 and says, would a warp core breach be considered imploding? And I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no too.
If a Romulan... one of their black hole drives went bad, yes, that would be a good implosion. The ship would just go into the black hole. So.
And I could... It's weird because you never get a sense that these life forms are more advanced, that they just happen to parasite their way in. If there was a sense these guys... I mean, they say it's a superior form of life, but that's them bragging. It's not them being honest.
Yeah.
If they had more advanced technology, you could say, oh, they sabotaged it in a way that it worked. But it's such a nebulous It's trying to force the suspense and suspending all logic. And when they get there, there's also too much wreckage. Why is it all flying in one direction? You know, if it doesn't... It's stupid and it's poorly done. And the fact they don't know what ship it is until the last minute. Normally, you would say, sir, I registered the, this metal, very familiar of Federation signatures, and there's a Federation warp signature, and, because Stuart, warp trails are a thing. You can track a warp trail. Oh, he's gone. How many times, Stuart, do they track a warp trail?
All the time.
All the time. And normally...
Specific warp signature to each ship.
Yes. And each race. And normally, you know the flight paths of the ships around you because they're updating each other. So and also, if you're saying keep in contact, you know where Horatio is going. So it's a stupid scene that's badly written. It should have been warp core explosion. Wait, who was over there? We don't know because they're refusing to send their coordinates. They get there. Obviously, they didn't have an SL of a Horatio. That's fine. Didn't design the ship yet, but should have been warp core breach. Blah blah blah. Just stupid scene. Didn't work. Works on the most top level, but it doesn't work. Yeah. If the ship imploded, there'd be no debris. Oh, I'm sure there's some debris. I thought there's still be some debris.
Well, implosion means just everything implodes and is gone. Yeah, but what's the definition of implosion? Explosion is taking something and blowing it apart. Implosion is blowing it in.
Yeah, but how do you even do that?
They say they implode buildings when they demolish buildings, and that's only because they use explosions. But all the explosions make the thing fall into itself.
Yeah.
Which is an implosion because it keeps everything in the same area. Which could be why all the wreckage is, as you said, doesn't make sense to be like all clustered together like that instead of expanding outwards if it was an explosion.
Yes. And Judge 1981 says, as I remember, an explosion due to lack of containment. That was the Yamato. Or the one aboard, or the one... If the Yamato is the one above the Iconium planet, that one does that. So, that's later.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just not a good scene.
Yeah.
But just for technical reasons, but it's a story of a technical...
But Picard and Riker.
But we do have more Worf. Again, straight away, it's like, Yar was there, she never got these lines. Worf is there, he's getting these lines. It's like if Denise watched this after she left, she'd be like, he got 5 lines this week. Well, this is avoiding me? If I had 5 lines left, I'd be still here. I only wanted 5. Let me say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a quick scene with Picard and Riker in the conference room, which I didn't take any notes for, so it couldn't have been that
I
important.
don't remember what happened. No.
Yeah. But the next scene, which is really quick, like I said, that scene's really short. Next scene is Data talking to himself.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Intriguing. Computer's like, please restate request. He's like, I was just talking to myself. Yeah. And then the computer even cuts him off. Thank you, sir. I comprehend. Because he starts going to reason people talk to themselves, old age, senility, whatever. But yeah, that's hilarious. I laughed at that. Even the computers, because that's kind of like a trope. Like, thank you, Mr. Data. So even the computer is just, yeah. Anyway.
That could be just a short by itself. It's clever and it's smart and yeah, it's good. And it is funny. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a great Data moment for sure. Let's see what scene is next. Oh yeah, more of the conference room. Data comes in. We have no facts about what happened. I believe it was sabotage. And then Data makes a point of saying he found abnormal patterns in Starfleet's directives, unusual activity over the last few months, reshuffling of personnel in command areas. And he's asked to theorize, and he says it seems like a clandestine attempt to control key areas of Federation territory, perhaps in a prelude to invasion. So it's like, dun, dun, dun. And then it's like, should we warp to Starfleet and demand answers? Or actually, they asked Data, what do you think we should do? Or what should we do? Warp to Starfleet and demand answers? He's like, I don't see why not.
I literally said to the screen, there's every reason why not. That's stupid. Don't do it. If you do that, you get caught, killed, found out, converted. There's a severe lack of intelligence from Picard in this episode, in the sense that he's just mindlessly walking forward through the plot without any plan at any stage, and just because the plot lets him get away with it. He beams down to the planet with no plan, no armament. He, goes to Starfleet Command with no plan, no armament. And later on, he goes down with no plan, no armament, no plan. He's not smart in this episode. At one point,
even says to the Doctor, one does not beam into Starfleet headquarters armed, Doctor.
I understand. But Picard is not smart in this episode. He's not dumb because everything works out. But he's a lack of intelligence because this story just has to happen. Would you agree with that? Did you get that sense?
Not really. I mean, in the next episode, I know he's kind of got a lack of focus for Picard. But this episode, I didn't see that. But I can see why you would say that. But I didn't feel that as we were going along. He was just trying to play it cool, I think.
But without a plan, I mean, he's got enough evidence to certainly suspect. And, if you've got no plan, then if anything bad happens, deal with it.
He just knows he can talk his way out of anything. So.
Okay, I like that. But just the idea of going to Starfleet Command, if Starfleet Command is the one in danger, you have no idea what the threat is. I mean, if it was anyone, as soon as you walk down, they'll point a phaser at you and say, right, thanks for coming in, Picard. That saved us 6 months of tracking you down. Great. Okay, problem solved. Like, there's just very lack of awareness. But again, there's so many...
Yeah, especially with the reception they get when they get to Earth, which we'll get to in a second. It seems very sketchy, to say the least. So, yeah.
It's just short scenes, plot, keep going on, meant to think. This is kind of a JJ approach of lack of thought hidden by actions. Luckily, the actions have thought outside of the main characters, unlike their ones. But it's kind of next thing, Yeah.
Jarzia puts in $2 Canadian. Garrett Wong just said F it and took the paycheck. Yeah, because he kind of got screwed around just like Denise Crosby did, but he did stick around, so he didn't even get a raise, a promotion.
But he did get, he got a few good moments, and he loved the family over there, and syndication checks of 7 years. Yeah, I mean, and he never did bad work. He always gave it his all. Give him more credit for it.
And Ronan Fahy, sorry, I don't recognize the name. Puts in £5. Thank you, or €5. Sorry. viewers. Thank you very much. I think that's the only time in Trek a computer refers to itself in the first person without being possessed. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. We will try. Sorry I couldn't say your name.
Thank you. That's cool. That's a good note. It is a weird scene, but it's so refreshing as a little scene. I love the fact that Majel got to pick up a paycheck every season for the next, like, 15 years. You know, by casting her, Gene got her money well after he died. What a lad, you know? And Raj is going. Bye, Raj. Thanks for stopping by and enjoy it on the after the fact.
Bye, Raj. But yeah, we got a great shot of the Enterprise as it comes into.
No, Ronan says you got
orbit.
it first time. Nicely pronounced. Well done, Stuart.
I don't remember what I said, so I'll probably say it wrong next time. But
the graphic.
Then we get a great shot of the Enterprise from the front, and then the camera goes over the top of it as they approach Earth.
Hold on, you skipped the graphic, the big red triangle.
I already talked about that. That was the reshuffling of personnel along in command positions.
Oh, I thought you just...
Sorry. No. Reshuffling of personnel in command areas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Although, is that to say Earth? Is the one on the right Earth?
I believe it's supposed to be, yeah.
So they're...
It does say Earth, yeah.
So they're changing people's positions in a very specific line. So my assumption is that they're making a path for their future fleet to come in.
That's because the next thing he says is a prelude to invasion.
Yes.
So yeah, clear away for them from the space they're coming from to get into Federation space and then move out from there. Because you don't want to attack on like a broad front. You want to come in, get behind enemy lines, and then do your thing. So yeah.
Yeah. It's very specific, and obviously Data's a good Deus Ex of I've worked this out. He's looked at everything. He's put things together fine. But at least I appreciate he didn't work out who, what, and where. But a little bit easy, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, 144 people watching, Stuart. Damn.
148 on mine, so everybody hit like. Jeff
awesome.
Jacobs just put in 267 and says, we made it to 100. So proud. Again at 130. Hashtag make Jeff pay, make Jeff pay. So, guys, 130 likes with 148 of you here. That's totally doable. Come on now. Everybody hit like.
Please.
And make sure you're subscribed.
Yes.
See you.
But yes, Stuart, it's a lovely flyby of the first shot for the entire show. Lovely.
Yeah. And then we get the moon, which has nothing on it.
No Tycho City, no. It's the dark side of the moon, it's fine. But
right.
Yes, again, that would have been a simple thing to remaster, just add little LED lights, but that's okay.
And then the reception here is really weird. The three admirals, they all look creepy as hell.
Yeah.
And Deanna's like, yeah, someone is hiding something, but I can't tell who or what. And they're like, you and your first officer beam down. All right, cool. And Quinn's like, oh, I want to see, I want to come aboard and see the ship again, and blah blah blah. Picard's like, yeah, Quinn wants to see us alone. He's on our side. Sweet. So kind of like that.
Yeah, this is a fun one because TOS didn't even go to Earth. The movies went to Earth, but they're movies. TNG has yet to be to Earth, so this is a big deal. We're at Earth. That's cool. You know, although it is a bit odd. It goes from they are pretty far out, so far out they can have a clandestine meeting with 4 captains and expect no one to be able to see it, and suddenly next scene, we're at Earth.
Yeah, how long did that take?
and mentally you think a day, but that's gonna be at least a week, 2 weeks.
Well, in the JJ verse, it would have been like 2 hours.
It would have been, or just a tea break, just hyperspace.
Yeah.
But I mean, back me up on that. That must be at least like a solid week.
Easily, yeah. They said they were on the outer rim. They've been exploring the outer rim, so this meeting probably happened a little bit further inside Federation space.
Yeah.
Well, I got to find out on the map where Pacifica is in relation to Earth.
Because that's a planet they'll go to. That's not like a rare planet. So they were in Federation space quite a bit because that's just a play planet. But they really should have said, like, we'll be there in 6 days. Give us a nice sense of tension, because then that could have explained why a black captain got infected, like it spread more in the time because it escalated. That would have been a nice thing. And especially if Picard said like no transmissions, no anything, keep us locked in this ship. Although if Starfleet could tell the Enterprise was coming to Earth well before it got to Earth. So the fact they communicated with them in orbit is like, so I guess just waited for a week. But like I know that they're trying to play it's not a week, but it must be a long time. That's silly. That's just a slight JJ-esque. We don't care. Moving on. Needle line there.
Obviously, some amount of time has passed, and yes, you're right. Even if they went silent, heading to Earth, I think it'd be suspicious with all the listening outposts, other ships. As you approach Earth, here's the Enterprise not communicating with anybody. It's basically a missile headed towards Earth. Should we take it out? I don't know. So it seems kind of odd that they made it that far. Absolutely, and the fact that there's nothing on the moon and nothing in Earth orbit and no busyness going on. It's just, hey.
I mean, you would expect it would have been kind of nice, again, remastered to have, like, they fly past Earth space dock and it's like, there's no ships here. That's weird. That would have been kind of, like, nice touch. Why, as they, like, drop out of warp in the star system, Worf says, or Picard says, how many ships in orbit? None, sir. None, Mr. Worf. This is Earth. No ships? None. Strange. That would have been great.
That'd be too strange. And
but
then people would.
But we already know it's a conspiracy. Like, it's not as if the audience is guessing at this point.
I know, but there's no way there's going to be no traffic around Earth at all.
In which case, how do they get that close?
Yeah. Anyway, small thing, just annoying. That's all.
Very JJ. Which is whatever. But that's the thing. So many things happen. It's just next. And also, as we always say, well, I guess they had warning. But 3 admirals happen to be sitting down in the same place, one of which isn't on duty. Just like, we're having a coffee. It's like, oh, they're hailing. Oh, okay. Hello. It's like, they just happen to be there waiting. We always find that conceit.
Yeah.
They really need to, like, we sent early warning and they got ready to meet us. And that whole Quinn thing, saying, oh, well, you missed out one thing where Remick, who's now back.
Yeah.
Yay. I love the fact that he talks to the Vulcan, because in first view you're like, ooh, the aide is here. Second viewing you're like, the mother gives orders. Like, that's a fun little.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder, was he infected when he first came aboard the Enterprise?
Yeah.
Has that been going on for a while, and he was kind of following Quinn around to make sure everything was fine? I don't know. I don't know how long it's been.
I can't imagine that version, because since none of them act human. Like, none of them have passed for very long.
They make a point of saying that once the mother's destroyed, the other ones couldn't survive, which means everybody that was infected, I guess, is fine now. Mm-hmm. But if there's only one mother, then it must have been in Remick from the first time we saw him, because there were already people infected to make Quinn suspicious.
Well, I'm sure he can move between people.
It's pretty big. But maybe. I don't know if I buy that, though. I just...
I mean, my assumption is... Oh, well, we'll get there later. There's a whole conversation to have.
Yeah.
And I thought Quinn saying, yes, I want to come look around again and say hi. It's like, no, you don't. What? There's 2 gas classes being built. Planitia. Go warp and see them. And especially as most of the cores look the same. There's nothing to see, you idiot. But then I love Picard's, oh, he's on our side. It's a conspiracy of a conspiracy. So it's a stupid line that is dumb until it's like, oh. But it's like, no, he meant, let me just go hang out. It's like, what? That's not that interesting. What?
Yeah. Anyway. So then Quinn comes in with this case, and in the case is a squiggly little pink worm.
That's a great design.
Yeah.
There must be so many people that made custom containers for them.
And then Remick comes in afterwards, so you think Remick doesn't know what's going on. He's just the aide, he's just the tag along. But he transports him over to the Enterprise. And
they're still given the pretense of Sir and Remick. It's a very interestingly played scene. It's creepy, it's tense, it's unnerving. The alien could be anything, could be a translator, could be whatever. It's really... This is when it's a roller coaster that doesn't stop, because they're right here. I think it's a well-played moment. And what did you think
Bobby Bear Alpha Gaming says, hello from New Zealand.
Ooh.
So, hello, New Zealand.
Hello, what time is it in New Zealand?
Nice to see you. That's future, 15 hours-ish.
10:06 for me, which is so it's 11 now. So it's 11 hours ahead. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Welcome.
Morning. Is this your first live stream with us?
I don't recognize the name, so probably, but thank you very much.
Oh, Vandal. This episode's special effects were way below par, in my opinion. Oh. Okay.
It's not too many effects, really.
I thought it was fine. So, yeah, it beams over. It's polite, friendly. How you feeling? Oh, but I felt in years.
Yeah.
It's
ready for new challenges.
I like his acting. Like, this is a difficult thing to act. But I like how every time there's a little challenge to memory, he's luckily preempted. And you remember Commander Riker? Oh, yes, Commander. I was like, hello, random man. No, we met last time. Oh, yes, what's your name? Riker. You forgot, sir? You talked to me for 6 hours. Did I? Oh, yes, I'm old. But you said you feel really good. Shut up. Stop asking me questions. Like, it's a very, like, I like the... Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then there's the walk and talk scene. And again, the same corner they turn around that they've done a few times in season 1 with that gray wall, silver wall.
This is a good walk and talk.
Yeah. Are you here because of what you said last time? Oh, you misunderstood me. I was just referring to the challenges of incorporating new races into the Federation. Okay, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said, I'm sure, in your entire life. But okay.
And yet the acting is so believably, like, he's really, like, selling it. Even though everyone knows it's fake, he's selling it really well, considering.
You can tell by the look on Riker's face, like, the hell are you talking about? And even Picard, it's like they're not buying it at all. And I love how Picard, like, throws his number one right under the bus. Yep, Riker's going to show you around. I'm just going to beam down. And Riker's like, what? I thought I was going down with you. I want a good meal, man.
I want the gach. I like gach. I've always liked gach. No, this is the...
Jarzia puts in $5 Canadian. Bluegill tries to infect someone. Gaul, get the hell out of my house.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stargate parallels here. Oh, Jill is driving. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill. Be safe.
Yes. Enjoy our voices. We're near the end, though. We'll have a big debate about the aliens. But yeah, I think this is a really fun dialogue. Although, considering the alien is meant to be smart, this is not a good play by them. But I think at this point, given the fact they're next to Earth, 3 Admirals, I'm sure there's more. They could order Space Dock to destroy the Enterprise. They could order ships in proximity to, like, they've got all the cards right now. You know, enough. And I'm sure the fleet in orbit of Earth can take out the Galaxy class Enterprise. It's not that advanced, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're just like, they're gonna come down in 10 minutes. It's fine. Don't need to be cautious now.
Yeah. And I love how Picard's like, pulls Will with him and says, "That's not Gregory Quinn." Have Beverly concoct a reason for a full examination.
But he's an admiral.
How? He's a senior admiral. It's like, I don't know. Just do it. Again, hey, look at that bus, Commander. Hey, come here. Look at this bus. Push you right under it. There you go. Take that.
It's good though.
It does seem like Picard has a lack of focus and no plan. You're absolutely right now that you said that.
Well, see, this bit I think is him. The only bit of him being smart. He gets it. He understands, and he's like, "I'm going to beam down." And it's like, I wish Riker said, "What's the plan?" He's like, "I'll make it up as I go along." It's like, you have no intel. You know.
I think we might have missed something here. Like, a lot of times that this is a trope in shows like this, where, like, at the end it comes together that they had made this plan beforehand. You just didn't hear that part.
You mean in the week to get to Earth?
Yes, and I'm sure that's exactly what happened in this case. They had contingencies for each thing, I'm sure. So,
but they were they were sure that Quinn was an ally, and then he suddenly wasn't. So that changes the plan.
Yeah, but they had a contingency plan. They would have had this case scenario, this case scenario. This is Plan C, or Plan Q for Plan Quinn. Who knows?
Or Plan B for batshit barricade crazy. I kind of wish though that he said he brought data down. That would have made some logical sense. It's like, where's the commander? Why have you brought down Mr. Data? Oh, he's here to chat about some stuff. He's my that would have been like a logical. I brought data.
Yeah.
He's a useful tool, but to go down alone is really dumb. And I kind of wish he had like a hidden phaser that I worked way of. Because if these aliens don't know people's memories, there's no way they know all Starfleet procedures, all how phasers work. Like they don't know how everything works, so they're not gonna,
Yeah.
I mean that's a risk to take, but stealth phaser.
I mean, yeah, it's a great plan to take Data down, but another great plan would have been to take Riker down with you and have Data watch Admiral Quinn. Because not much would get by Data, and then what happens in a few minutes wouldn't happen because Quinn would have got his ass handed to him. But hindsight's 20/20, I guess. So.
But obviously, you need the Riker reveal. So that I agree, but you need the Riker reveal. And Dan23 says that Type 1 phaser can be concealed. Yes and no. It could be concealed, but the transporters would detect it immediately. They'd have to work out something custom. Is what I was meaning, because they're moving into Starfleet headquarters. You're not getting away with anything, So you're not getting away with it like Picard or like Spock got away with attaching a transmitter to Kirk's jacket that no one noticed from his travel to.
Not a transmitter. It's just a beryllium patch, just made of a certain material that can be easily tracked. But yes,
no one noticed it from his being on a prisoner. Well, I didn't until...
First time I'm like, what the hell? Is that nudity uniform? What?
Like, I don't believe... like, I don't believe no one noticed that on the Klingon ship and then on the other Klingon ship and then on Kronos and all these things. Like,
McCoy walking behind him, which he was doing most of the time.
Jim, is that a smudge? What? Yeah.
I got a caterpillar on your back there, bud.
I'll just take it off. There you go. We're fine now.
Let's throw this in the garbage.
Then later on in the movie, Spock turns the thing on and is like, so where's Kirk? He's on Kronos. But he's on Ropenthe. He took off the damn patch. Damn it.
And why why in these shows do people get put in the brig with everything they have on them? The Klingons in Heart of Honor, they should have taken their like belts and shit, so you think the Klingons would have taken the uniform? I don't know. That's why they have prison clothes in real life, so you can't smuggle things in.
Except in your butt. That's the olden days, anyway. $148 people, Stuart. 120 likes. Yay.
151 people.
Nice.
Everybody hit like.
Now this, I want to dwell on this one shot. So they beam down, and we have a wonderful and stupid reuse, stock footage from one of the Star Trek movies, and oh my, right in the middle, it's weird that they're still using Wrath of Khan costumes at Starfleet headquarters in TNG. I mean, look. That's canon.
Nobody's supposed to notice that. Nobody's supposed to notice that.
Because they do 4 cutaways. That's the only one that has this uniform visible.
This is Historical Recreation Day.
Dress up day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that hilarious? Like, that got through... Like, you could even have road scoped them out. Like, there's an easy thing to replace. Like, I love the map page and I love the idea of it, but...
Yeah, especially in remastered. I mean, I can see this getting by the first run.
Yep.
But...
Because you wouldn't be able to tell an SD, why would you? But literally, Wrath of Khan uniform...
Yeah.
And I know the TNG uniforms are newish, but Stargazer did have them, and that was years ago, so they're not that new. Now, I don't like Discovery, and for many reasons, mostly storytelling and script, but they use old uniforms. Even the Enterprise uniforms are standard, and they've been there for many, many years at this point, because we know the short trek they have them years ago, so stupid continuity, blah, blah, blah. But I guess even though Starfleet headquarters would update first, they update last. So everyone's using old uniforms. But I guess people walk around Starfleet uniform with Wrath of Khan. That's another one of those classic, we ignore it because it's not canon. It's just a mistake.
These people are just on their way to the holodeck. That's all. They just want to do a recreation. It's fine. Fleet Pod Swiftback puts in $4.99. I would think the brig has a local EMP type thing that disables tech. It kind of makes sense. You'd think that, but every episode, they pull off their communicator, they open the communicator, they jigger it, short out the force field. Just take that shit away from them.
And their shoes and the belt.
Yeah.
Shave their head. just to humiliate them. Just
Oh,
strip
that's
them
harsh.
naked.
That's
I mean,
harsh.
just strip them naked, have them chained to a wall.
Wow.
I mean,
Medieval much?
yeah. I've always said, like, people say, if there's a super villain you have to keep in a prison, he'll get out somewhere. And I said, okay, I'll design a prison they can't get out of. And I said, you strip him naked, you put a gag in his mouth, you put, like, his arms up, his energy fields, you put him under the water, in a concrete box, under the sea, in energy field, like, in a secret, like, all these levels. It's like, and my friend was like, oh, he'll still get out. I'm like, how? How? There's nothing. And sedate him, put him in a coma. It's like all these things. How?
Wow. You are harsh, man.
Yes, I don't want to escape. I've watched television.
Anyway, moving along. That's the dark side of Samuel. Yeah. Well, I love he beams in, and they're meeting them there. They told him earlier to beam into the reception area. This is the reception area, apparently.
There's a bench to the left.
Corridor, yeah. And he even comments, why is it not busy? Oh, it's a slow night here.
Cut to exterior. Broad daylight. Middle of the day.
Yep.
It's not night. Well, I know in America it can be sunny very, very late. That's fine. But night is normally conceived in darkness. And also there is people outside in Rathacon uniform. But did you notice he also lived long and prospered him? Nice touch.
Yep.
Small detail.
And Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
Interestingly, the Voyager DS9 uniforms were not being used on Earth in Homefront Paradise Lost. And the visitor, Nog, is wearing a TNG uniform in 2389 on Earth. It's very true.
It's true. Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, we're back aboard the Enterprise now. That was a quick just, hi, how you doing? Live long and prosper.
Quick scenes.
Why is it not busy? Oh, just because. So that's cool.
It's a great set of lines as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look, no extras today. That's useful. There's one extra. It's one extra.
Yeah.
We get shot.
But we're back on the Enterprise, and he's looking in the case. He doesn't close it when Riker comes in. Riker's like, what's in the case? You take a look. It's a form of life discovered on an uncharted planet. It's a superior form of life. Superior? You must be kidding me. And then he gets his ass handed to him. Yeah.
I love the idea of this scene, and I love the way it's played until the fight bit. It's meant for the Doctor. I'm not sure why Doctor first. I guess it's easy to give people creatures if you have to bring them for physical. I would have thought make Riker first, but
plus you wouldn't think that they'd target your Doctor first, and your Doctor could infect more people by and you do a medical exam. Plus they might know that she's close to Picard, and so he would be one of the first ones that she would be infecting, so they could get control of the Enterprise, which they talk about later. We have control of the Enterprise now. It's like, okay.
I love the lighting of the scene as well. That's a well lit. But what isn't good is the very, very poor stunt double work.
Very poor. I got a good screen cap of the Riker stuntman who. Vandal puts in $5 and says, "I wish they would have used the space dock in this episode. Also, I was expecting it when I first watched it. Yeah, absolutely. Even just a flyby of it, just to. Yeah, there it is. We're going into orbit.
Because they could composite those two shots. There's definitely two that could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a really... I mean, the fight's a bit lazy. And also kind of weird, the fact they kick, like, massive high kicks. It's a bit comical. It's not played for... I don't know. Choreography is just not good. There's an awful scene where the stunt double's face is directly in shot. He goes close towards camera, face directly in shot, then turns. And it's like... The idea of a stunt double is you don't show their face. Now, obviously, 9 times out of 10, they're doing a good job. But that was really bad choreography because literally saw his face. And you can see that it's just not well done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
Infamously obvious stunt double. Yes, indeed. Star Trek tropes, man.
Yes.
And there's quite a few of those. And Quinn, the stunt double for Quinn in the one shot is quite a bit younger, obviously. And you said the high kicks were weird. I thought so as well, but I can understand Quinn doing it if he's infected with the parasite. the strongest muscles in the human body are in the legs, essentially. So of course it could kick. But then Riker does it. It's like, that's not Starfleet training. Why don't you just punch him? Just do Kirk Fu, double axe handle to the back of the neck. No one special, number one special, that's what we like to call you. Puts in $2. Doctor does medical scans, so it's a good cover up. Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, again, a broken glass table. Do you think they'd have better non-breakable glass in the future? I mean, Heart of Glory, we saw the same thing where the Klingon falls on the walkway, which you would assume would be transparent aluminum, and it cracks very easily.
But Stuart, just like with earlier in the episode, with the beach and the water, yes, you could go to holodeck for a fake beach. Yes, you could use fake glass, but really, nothing like real glass. It's like booze. You could have synthahol, but you need real booze. So real breakable glass, Stuart. They use it for tables and for Klingons falling down engineering.
And that's the safest thing to use on a starship, where a lot of times you're getting rocked back and forth and things are getting knocked over, crew are falling over. So it's best to have real glass that'll shatter into big pieces instead of being tempered glass or safety glass. You know how it is.
It's just saying.
Perfect. Transparent aluminum.
And next scene, this time around, I actually got the context that he wasn't trying to drink because it might be poison. I didn't get that the first time. Yep. So I appreciate that in this version, because there is this gentle build. We've seen the alien, but we don't know exactly what it is yet. I do quite like this scene for that, and they're still playing, but it's a bit unbelievable. It's And
it's worth pointing out too that it's in Andorian tea. We're gonna have that while we wait for Riker. So
that's cool.
There you go. And then the one Admiral is like, to the Horatio, and it's like, well, at first I thought it's odd that they know about that when Picard hasn't told them, but if it's been a week or so, somebody would have caught the wreckage, or maybe I don't know if the Enterprise would have reported it necessarily, but
yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to bring that up. It does seem odd, because it's such like and those to the people we killed. I mean, the Lost. Like, it's such an in-your-face moment.
And Picard's like, yeah, did you find out what happened to them? Implosion due to extreme negligence of her captain.
And it said with a little bit of vitriol and like, such a captain. Picard's like, what? Although he must be a worse captain because he didn't get a flagship. He got only a 25-year-old ambassador. Didn't even get one of the newer ones.
Gestrel 1980 puts in $5. Thank you very much. Best quote: "One does not beam into Starfleet headquarters armed, Doctor." We didn't add the doctor part there, but having Chinese takeout for dinner, yum, fried wontons, not mealworms. Yum. Yes. Well, enjoy that sounds really good. I want Chinese.
Yeah, we had Chinese the last couple of days to celebrate the busy weekend. So yes, thank you, man, and enjoy the food. Yay, yay, yay.
And again, Remick leaves, so you think he's not important or that he's not in on this. So it's like misdirection. Yeah,
he's always there, but never is important, and that's a great. It's like in a second they're gonna hand in the glass, even though they could easily just put it on the table. It's like, you just put it on the table and walk away. Don't give it to the guy put it on the table. Like, you lazy bastard. Seriously, I know you're Admirals, but
yeah.
I mean, what's funny? That Picard doesn't even look that much older than the Admirals. Like, when you break it down, I mean, there can only be 10 years between them, maybe. There isn't that much difference.
Yeah.
I guess Picard did just get offered Admiral anyway, so I mean...
yeah.
Well, but yeah, it's a good scene, and... yeah.
Next scene, we're back aboard the Enterprise, and they've already called security to Quinn's quarters. I love the one freeze frame I got of Geordi and Worf running.
Stuart, why is Geordi going?
He was hanging out with Worf, chatting, and thought he'd just go along.
But you know how when Tasha called security, 4 people with phasers came?
Yeah.
And when Riker calls for security, Worf and the pilot comes along that thinks Worf is Impulse, who is also blind, or who obviously can see. But like, why is Geordi there? I don't understand. What a weird choice to bring Geordi.
Maybe he can see something that no one else can.
But he doesn't.
Admiral Quinn. I know.
It's like also,
don't get me started.
He gets stunt doubled through a door just to have a red shirt who can stunt double properly. Why just have a stunt man and do more worse things to him? You know?
when they get there, it's so lame. He
Yeah.
slipped and hit his head.
Uh,
And then Worf gets tossed around and hits the replicator, and the replicator wobbles. Womp, 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 the whole thing. Good
Yeah.
Tea Nice House, though, puts in $5 Canadian.
Like,
They say you never forget your first. Conspiracy was my first Trek experience way back in
wow.
1991. Not a bad episode to get hooked on Trek. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot of stuff. It makes you think a lot of stuff happened in Trek. I really wish in this scene when Quinn was like, yes, he fell and hit his head. And Worf says, computer, replay emergency call. And it cuts to Riker saying, emergency! Yeah, security to the quarters! It's like, yes, he was very distressed as he was falling.
Computer, engage holographic security, whatever. And then holographic figures of Quinn and Riker shot, because they'd have those, obviously. And they replay the fight. And
yeah, and
anyway,
it's weird. Joy's there. He's so gullible, and
he gets tossed through the doors. Like, I don't think doors would break that easily. I think Geordi would be liquefied before the doors would give away like that.
That's true. I didn't think about that because I thought, luckily, they don't look that much like wood. They're not like cheap wood, but
except on the bottom of the one, they didn't bother painting it.
Yeah, like they should have done like a bend in it. Like in Terminator 2, they go through, like, punch the door. That was needed. But yeah, that's true. He should just be dead.
Mole says, "Wow, a live Trek Yards. Can I get a shout out, please?" Hey, Mole.
Mole.
Let's go live. Sorry, this is your first one. We do them all the time. They're fun.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your shout out, man.
It's a pretty good shout. I even shouted. And 150 people. That's great for a live, and we have had a lot of fun doing all of season 1. Got one more. Then we're going to do a drunk Trek Yards, which will be a lot of fun. If you guys turn up, have fun, make us drunk. The drunker we get is completely up to you. You support us via Super Chats, and we will keep drinking to the point of almost death.
Yes. Well, and on that note,
yes,
Dale Stafford makes an interesting point. The doors in the Discovery are absolutely indestructible from a photon torpedo 10 feet away. But these doors can't even handle a guy getting pushed into them. Just saying. Yeah, I know it wasn't a blast door, but still.
Yeah, door tech has really taken a plunge in the last 100 years. So has most tech, to be honest. We don't use holograms anymore. We don't do... Yeah. I always remember this as a thing that happens. Because the episode's pretty ambitious for what it's trying to be. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening and, you know.
Yeah. And they ask how Worf is oh, well, no. Then Dr. Crusher comes in. And first of all, I gotta love the fight with Worf. And the fact that he says, Klingon. He gets to kick the crap out of the Klingon like he's been waiting for it for a while. And Worf gets his ass handed to him. But then Quinn gets phasered by the good doctor. And quite a phasering as well. Because I think she tried stun at first. Because later she tells Picard it's going to have to be on kill. Stun has no effect. So I think the first couple hits she did were stun. And then she switched to kill to get him down. Would be my assumption. Even though we don't see her change the setting at all. But Eugene puts in 500 rubles. Riker is such a rich, censored by Big Google Brother. He can't afford wooden doors and the flagship for his room. He can't afford wooden doors and the flagship for his room. Yes.
Yes. And doesn't it look like Crusher's just got her hand in her jacket casually? Like the way she's just like, ooh, but like it looks like she's in a pocket, like she's just casual. I know it isn't, but it's a very weird pose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And also, it's weird that Worf gets knocked out, then back up instantly, despite being knocked out. And Geordi also knocked out, yet back up fine without problems. But whatever, doesn't matter.
Well, I like Worf's line though. If I could see, or no, Geordi's line. If I could see, I'd be seeing stars.
Good line. Good line. Although I do just realise, I just zoomed in on Riker. Is that a pool of blood underneath Riker's head?
Probably.
Because that's pretty red, and it looks like it's liquid.
Could just be some. No, I think it's some. It looks too square to be blood. It looks like a tray, like a clear tray that was on the table.
Possibly.
If you zoom in,
I have
rounded corners.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. But But it's weird that he's knocked out that much. I just always found that a bit weird.
Yeah.
And now we get to Quinn. They found here's Quinn, 100%. And oh no, what's that? And we get a really great, gross prosthetic thing that's moving and always a bit gross. And it's very quick. It's such a quick edit. It's like you see it. Oh,
Yeah.
move on. Wait, what was that? You know. It's cool.
Yeah. And it is moving. It's worth pointing that out. And then later, that's one thing that always threw me for all these years, having watched this episode. I'm like, when they inspect Rikers, it'll be still, obviously, unless they put a little mechanism in it, like to make it move. But it doesn't move. Yeah. So just, I don't know. Seems odd that they wouldn't catch that.
If you can replicate stuff, I mean, why couldn't you replicate a little motor in it that's the size of whatever? You know. That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why don't the transporter biofilters detect it?
Huh.
It's obviously a parasite. It's obviously later we see like a X-ray almost, and you can see where it's lodged in. I don't know. It just seems odd.
That is a great point. My assumption, if I was forced to find a reason, would be that after the first ship got infected, and then they got to Admirals and stuff, they did a cheeky firmware update to all transporters in the fleet that said, nah, this is fine.
I'd buy it. Makes the most amount of sense.
Or they're so cohabiting that they like integrate with the biosigns. You know. But yeah, it's interesting. That's a great question. So yeah, back to drinking, and then you get the whole what is it? I absolutely adore this 3D graphic of the dude's head and the spinal column. That's a really graphic. That's very good for the time.
I think that might have been redone in the remastered. I'm not sure how the first one would have looked. But yeah, I love the way that it's locked onto the spinal cord.
Ugh, it's so horrible. It's very much
go ahead.
Well, it's very much like the Gould from Stargate.
Yeah.
But a little bit neater, but yes, gross.
Yeah. And she tells Picard to look for the little thingy at the back. Do you think you can remove it without killing the patient? Not sure.
Well, no, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a sense of I can't. I've got to find a solution here because I just can't. It's like, oh, okay.
But she tells him to set his phaser to kill. Stun has little effect. And at first I thought, when I first started watching this, because she had kind of examined the thing, but then I remembered this time that she actually phasered him. So I think the first hit was stun, didn't work, didn't bring him down. So, but yeah. And then after she says that, he's like, one does not beam down to Starfleet headquarters armed, Doctor.
Or into Mordor, the phaser either.
Yeah.
That's the vibes I was getting, despite that being 20 years later.
And then Remick comes out and walks by. Your food's getting cold.
Yep.
Again, you're not important, but sure.
I like that. That's good. And then
puts in 267, 130 as promised. I will go again at 157. Hashtag
Ooh.
Jeff Pay. 157 would require everyone to have hit like at this moment. So if you have not hit like yet, hit like. Let's make Jeff Pay again.
And that's the challenge, guys. He is challenging you to click that like button. Although Henrik Smosen does say joined Trill can transport. So
yeah, but they know they're joined Trill.
Yes, exactly.
So the biofilters wouldn't. Biofilters are they're designed to notice things like that.
They're programmed. It's like I will let an entire species come through because lol they're fine. It's programming.
But if you beam down and your last transporter pattern didn't have this thing, and you beam back up, you'd get a big alert on the transporter thing saying, something found. Yeah. 250 rubles from Eugene, though, so thank you very much. Are they like the Gaold? Or are the Gaould like them?
It's not Gould, it's Gaould.
Gaould.
No, Goa'uld.
Gaould. I say
go. I know you do, but I'm making a joke from Stargate.
Oh.
Gaould.
Gotcha.
Because someone says that literally, it's not Gaould, it's Gaould. Yes. I don't know, maybe. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's not many places that when you say a parasite has to go into your body, control you, and it's a big snake that fits in your body. There's not many it just is in your stomach. Like, you know what I mean? Actually, there's a lot. You know, it can't. So the spine works really, really well. It's wrapped around your spine. This is just a bit more like bloop.
I have a question though.
Okay.
With the next scene, we see the doctor, and you're creeping up behind her, and then Riker's hand goes on her shoulder. What happened to the parasite that was in the case? Because you think they would have confiscated the case or at least looked at it. You think that she'd have it in sickbay. We never saw that reveal if whether they found it or not. I assume they would have, because if they would have shown that, then we wouldn't have thought that Riker was infected, I guess. But it should be somewhere there. They should have noticed that.
Yeah, I give them an A for effort to try and give us a reveal, but it makes no sense because the biobed also makes noises, and she says explicitly Riker won't be awake for a very long time.
Yeah.
And yet he wakes up within a minute, stands, the biobed doesn't go bleep bleep, he walks up to her without her realising, can talk to her enough, relay the message, and is well enough. Like, it makes no sense. It's not well written beyond the I need to tell plot point. And you're right, what happened to the bug? I guess nothing. But I mean, they wouldn't think to look in the box necessarily if they didn't know, because only Riker and Quinn knew it was anything important. So I guess it's just still in a little box waiting. And then after Riker's okay, they say, did you get the box? What box? It's in Quinn's room. Okay.
He got knocked over in the fight, and the little parasite scuttled away
Nope,
under like a door.
Well, to be fair, even if it did, it'd be dead in like 20 minutes anyway. So you could have that. Wouldn't it be funny to there's a video where they show I'm not to spoil it, but the Infinity War moment. There you go, not spoiled, from every movie. And it'd be funny if like we do like a fan does a cross cut of that creature going into like a low lieutenant. It's like, and like Terminator walks to the ship, gets a phaser rifle, starts walking through the corridor. He says bridge, goes up to the bridge, gets ready, and then he's about to kill everyone. And then suddenly we cut to the planet, and the thing disintegrates, and he just like falls down, and the doors open, and Dory's like, "Who's that? Why's he got a phaser rifle?" Like, that'd be a great little fan film of the other side of the coin.
I think killing everyone's a little bit not conspiracy, but it's attack.
I mean, no, easy. It's phase stun wide beam, easy. Wouldn't that be a cool like fan edit?
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's fun. Now, when you first watched this, did you think he was bad?
Yes. The tension is pretty good. Because they didn't discover the one that was in the case, I just assumed that he had time to put it on in Riker, because when they got there, Riker was turned over on his back, and I don't know, it messes with you. Even now, it's like, with the way Riker plays it, he does such a good job.
A couple of non-super chats before we do that one. Can the biofilters only detect microbes, viruses, not anything larger than that? No, larger things are fine. Yeah.
Did a whole episode on transporters, guys.
Yes, true. And Dan23 says, we didn't see phase rifles in TNG until season 4. I understand that, but I was saying make a fan film.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant. And they were still on the ship. Like, it's like we didn't see the type, the TNG shuttle until we saw it in TNG, and yet it was in Farpoint. So they did also exist in Farpoint, so they retconned it back in. So they obviously existed on the ship. Just because we didn't see them until season 4, they're still in the ship somewhere, and you could add them back in. It's fine.
Yeah. Jarzia puts in $2.
Thank you.
Canadian. See a Dustbuster phaser rifle. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look like a broom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So
final confrontation.
We are back. Yeah, we're back down in Starfleet, and he walks into the room and sits down.
And this is a weird scene, isn't it?
It is. It's a very weird scene. First of all, there's a rando guy there that you think is security, and then he sits down too. It's like, okay, you're obviously infected, which is fine, but I don't know.
Yeah, and they reveal, it's just weird because they reveal the bugs instantly. There's no foreplay, there's no confusion. It's just like, yes, eat, Picard. And he's like, oh. Although, considering lots of alien races eat other things, you would think he'd be like, this is weird. Not like, it's But this is an Andorian classic. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. It's this bowl. It's identical. You know, it's like,
Well, the thing that bothered me, and they could have fixed also in remastering, is but the bowl in front of Picard at all times when you see that shot is they're moving. You can tell they're everybody else's, and I understand that they had to eat them. I understand that they're not real worms, but they should have added some kind of CG movement to to their bowls because they're just all. I prefer mine dead, thanks. You know,
well, personal choice. Yeah,
but yeah, I think a little bit of movement or something would have been better for the other bowls because none of them moved. So, not a big deal, but
yeah, it's interesting. But I just always found this a weird scene because it's like they go from 0 to 100. I know they think they've got him, and they do. I mean, Picard has no plan. He doesn't even know Riker's coming. There's literally no plan. He's just walking into the Dragon's Den without, you know, a fireproof vest. But it's like, haha, we're evil, we're eating bugs, haha. Like, it just goes wibbly weird. I guess they're so confident this is their house, they don't care anymore. I guess. And they don't try and stop him when he walks away through the soon-to-be 10 forward doors.
I was just gonna say that. I was looking at that picture.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, as he's stepping out, Riker comes in, and Picard's like, "Oh, thank God you're here," and it's like, shit.
And the other admiral runs to his side and looks at his neck. And that's actually a real head with a real prosthetic. That's actually pretty well done considering.
Yeah.
Although you would think there'd be some sensing, whatever. I don't know. And then yes, the reveal, which is sort of anticlimactic.
Dark Lord 016 though says, "Trekyard, zoom in. I want to see what they are eating. They're just mealworms, but oh, you mean the other people that are actually eating? They're probably just like gummy things or noodles or something."
Yeah, I was just thinking just noodles with like specks of black on them to make them look more like just big noodles.
Yeah.
And what did you think when the black captain came in? Because it's kind of an afterthought almost.
It was odd. It made me wonder if she was actually, well,
Captain Scott.
I'm sure Walker would have quizzed her before they went down to meet Picard, but I'm wondering if she was responsible for Walker's ship's destruction, being as they were all at the planet, and if she was already infected then. Although one thing that kept coming to my mind, and if you look at this shot where she walks in, the one admiral's got his head turned towards the door and there's nothing on the back of his neck. Is that yeah,
that's
having these little things sticking out the back of your neck should have been for season 3 or 4 when they actually had collars, because these are awful uniforms to have that be a thing. Because if Picard had one right now, look how exposed his neck is.
Picard, you've got
one on Riker's neck either.
Picard, you've got a pimple. Wait, what is that? It's moving. Yeah, it's not. That's one of the biggest problems with the premise of this, is that it's really easy to see. Especially, you know, they're trying to infect 2 people. You know, Worf sits behind the captain every day. He'd see. So you have to infect a lot of the crew for it to be worth it at all. You can't. It's too obvious. I mean, unless you wore a scarf every day, I don't think you can get away with that. You know, yes, Mr. Worf, lower the temperature to 12 degrees so I can wear my scarf. Lovely, lovely. But I thought this black Captain coming out, Captain Scott was good, but they didn't use it at all. It's like, she was bad the whole time, and it's like, okay.
I personally would have preferred if it was the Bullion. I would have preferred if it was his friend.
If his friend hadn't died, he was playing the whole time, he destroyed his own ship and left. That would have been a nice reveal.
Yeah, I guess. But I would have preferred the Bullion instead of her. I kind of like the fact that she was the youngest captain, whatever, in Starfleet history. Would have been nice to have her like show up again later in the series, you know, be an ongoing character. I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
But Jill47 says, it's in $2 and says, it's a fake. It's a fake. So and Fleet Boss Swiftback puts in $1.99. What's that on your neck? That? Just a skin tag. Yeah.
And Devereaux77X says she was infected. She says they are doing this to bring Picard to them. Yes, that's one thing I got in this version in particular. They say, Yeah, it was all it was all we knew from the start. We were just playing with you to get you here and have a bit of fun with it. We led you here because it's just more interesting. So I do like that. It's all part of the plan. But it, you know, doesn't quite play as a strong reveal because she didn't really have much to say in the first meeting. Like the Bolian gave you a sense of aggression. The captain gave you a sense of you know, legacy. The black captain was just there. You know, whereas if there was just two people you met or one people, that's fine. So she was the weakest of the three to choose.
Yeah.
Payoff wise, but it was nice to suddenly have a turn and be like, ooh, it was a thing the whole time.
Well, I do like when they check Riker's neck and they're like, "You were meant for the doctor," and Riker's like, "It couldn't be helped." And then we get that reveal that they were touring with him, and they say both races have a love of theater. You've put on a fine show.
It's a good line.
You really see these things enjoying theater? I don't know, but then it's the whole "we are the brains, you are the brawn."
Stuart, you haven't seen Shakespeare in this original conspiracy bug, you know, on their planet, you know. You know, perfect. And the Queen Bug's just there sitting in her little throne. More Shakespeare, more death. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. So lots of eating, lots of talking. Riker mostly sells it. He's a bit funny about it, but it's fun.
Yeah, the whole really playing with his food.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was a good reveal. That was a good moment reveal.
Yeah, that whole I'm like, oh my god, is he seriously gonna? And phaser. I guess people do beam into Starfleet headquarters armed, after all.
And no one cared or noticed. I'm assuming that he beamed down and a security stopped him and said, "Sir?" He's like, oh, it's fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're right. That completely redundant size is the last thing.
Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian and says,
"Thank you.
A2 bluegill." Like A2 brute, A2 bluegill. Ha. 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 Yeah, and it should be pointed out that they mentioned they're called bluegills once. Just once.
I didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
Didn't even hear it.
Yeah. So that's the name of these conspiracy alien bugs. Technically is bluegill. So, but yeah, there's some phasering of people, and I assume these are all dead because he is using it on kill to make sure that they go down as per Beverly's instruction.
Well,
but when the aliens die, do the humans, are they fine? I guess they would be because Quinn's fine.
Yeah, my assumption is kill just stuns them. Because Quill's fine, and she stunned him a lot. I assume none of these people die. They just get affected. That was what I took from it. I didn't assume they got killed at all. Especially since one of the teeniest phases could stun kill this guard with no effort. It's like, well, that was easy. They're not that resilient, are they? Unless they had a maximum setting, and it's like, okay, that was just enough.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, and God, this awful stunt. Captain Scott. Awful.
Yeah, it was very not well done.
Laughable. Cut that moment out. 10 out of 10, minus 10.
Well,
Awful.
Devo 77X says the bug leaves the body when the body dies. So I would assume that Captain Scott and the other guy are dead because the bug leave.
I don't know if we know that. Again, Quinn didn't die, and the bug died in him. But I would assume the bugs are really intelligent because they seem to be. So they would just leave if they know they're gonna get killed. Well, obviously being out of the body is more dangerous than in the body, but if you can scuttle away and get to the Queen first. So I don't know if that's... I'm sure it's in the script. But I don't know. Although it is kind of gross, even though it's not even a very good effect. It's just... like, that coming out of their mouth is gross.
Yeah, the later guy, the Admiral, his jaw really opens quite far when it comes out.
Yes. Although, if they're on the spine, it had to burrow around the head and through the spine. Like, you had to actively, like, cut through the spinal cord and around. Like, the neck's not that big.
Or go around the spine and come, like, through the...
It's quite a big bug.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, phaser. The phaser fight of TNG, pretty much. Although, again, it's a bit jokey. It's like, Quinn! Yeah. Or whatever that was name. Admiral. Yes. Oh no. It's like, why are you stopping? Keep running. Or you say, computer, emergency beam out, side to side, Admiral. Blah, blah, blah. It's like it's a bit of a stupid scene. It's fun, and also, did you notice the phaser goes even slower? It goes because the actors don't move quick enough. It goes just a bit slower, and also misses them point blank. Pretty much.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to dodge a phaser beam, I think, unless you're Data, which you've seen him do a few times. But a phaser beam would supposedly travel at.
But that's
close to
always
the
the
speed
issue,
of
though.
light. I know.
But it visually is a cool battle, but it's a really bad battle. Yeah, it's like yeah, no.
And then they phaser him in the butt on the way down. Butt phasering.
Yes.
It's a thing.
Ooh, 170 people watching, Stuart. 170.
Oh, welcome, guys.
Thank
Everybody
you.
hit like.
Good to see you all.
And subscribe. But nice to see you all. Almost done this episode review, so. Excuse me. But yeah, then we see the Admiral's jaw open quite wide for this bug to come out. And it crawls under the door. So they're like, what's in there?
And it's definitely nice, quirky 80s stop motion. Like, it's bad, but it's nice, you know?
Yeah. And Jarazia puts in $2, Deadpool, right up Main Street. That's right.
Yeah. Question to you.
Okay, yes.
Does this room bother you in the sense that it is just bland walls with 3 things in it? 2 identical maps, a chair, and just literally nothing else in the entire room?
Yes.
Yes.
However, it's probably been being used by this mother entity thing for a while, so that's all she needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
They could have just walked some consoles over from, like, the Battle Bridge set.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They really need something else here. The minimalism is just confusing to me. It looks like, you know, those sort of corkboard grey things that you put on back of it. If you say you're doing a presentation and you have a board and you stick stuff with pins into the board, and it's like that grey fabric. It feels like walls made of that, just like generic like placed walls, which they are. They're just generic placed walls.
And Jaddock Productions.
Oh,
puts in $2 Australian. Forrest Gump. I got shot in the buttocks.
That's funny.
Yes.
And Good Old Gamer says that map on the wall looks like the one from Last Jedi, or Force Awakens. It does a bit, yeah.
Well, yeah, but this has been used in Star Trek TNG for. You've seen it a few times in season 1, on displays and stuff. It just shows a different quadrant, or the quadrant with different sectors.
Yeah.
Just sector blocks.
So it's like the Federation space map. But speaking of things we've seen before, we have not seen the creature go up his leg, up his arm, and legit in his mouth. No CG. I mean, it is.
I know. I love how they're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. You know about that.
Remick, watch out!
Yeah. But I love how, and you can tell the way they're doing it. Obviously, it's on a stick, and they're like pushing it into his mouth. And then the next scene, the cut, he's got like, and it looks very uncomfortable when he closes his mouth because they hold on it for a second.
Yeah.
So it's probably half of the bug. It wouldn't be the full one because it.
Yeah.
But
it is super well done for what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it is graphic and it's gross. But yeah, I've never seen the pole before. They really should have cropped in 10%. Because, boy, you can see the pole up his butt.
Well, it's supposed to be like the gill, the little pointy gill at the back.
Sure.
I looked for it. It was a little bit quick, but yeah, you can tell what's going on. So.
But this moment always got to me. This particular, when I was younger. Ugh.
How so?
It's horribly graphic, and just the thought of the bug going up your mouth, all your sensory things is cool. So it can't get places useful through your mouth. It's got to then cut through your body to get anywhere else. Like there's nowhere to go through your mouth. You know,
they're a little too big in my opinion. They should have been a lot smaller, but then they wouldn't have looked as imposing, I guess.
Yeah.
One fun fact: they needed to redesign the bug because the original bug's legs were too short to do the walk. So they had to make the bug a little bit different to accommodate a walk. Just so you guys know.
That's great.
And then one thing that always confused me was the bubbling of his neck.
It's good.
Like, I don't quite know what's going on there, but...
It's a prosthetic overneck with, like, air.
Well, I know, I get that. I get how they did it, but why is it happening to Remick? Just because he swallowed one of the bugs. It just...
Yeah.
What is going on, exactly?
Well, my assumption is that basically he's now hollow. Because the creature sustains him and doesn't need much else, and so there's multiple
so
aliens.
His brain, essentially.
Yeah, and so as the creature's going, it's like going down, saying, "Oh hey guys, oh hey Terry," and they're all like moving and like high fiving and just like in his neck because it's just, you know, there's not that much space in a human for even that many creatures. It's graphic, horrible, and his acting sells it. Ugh. Now, this is graphic as TNG for what it is. This is surprising it got through, which I think is a universal. We all think confusing, you know.
Yeah. And they look at each other and phaser them.
And what did you think? Literally, it went from 1 to 100. This is the consummate explorer. This is not Kirk. This is the explorer. He goes from 0 to murder.
I think he's pissed off at being toyed with for so long, and he's really got some pent-up hostility against Remick for what he did on the Enterprise. So I think that's a good combination of a few things that contributes to this. So
okay.
It's kind of satisfying to just kill this guy that was such a dick.
Yeah,
I
just want to know your thought about that. And obviously, the iconic moment disintegrates his face, and then
kaplowy. But we're not done. The head wasn't enough.
And that's a really good effect.
Yeah,
it is awful. Ugh.
Now, the thing that bothers me about the next effect, I mean, I love seeing the spinal cord coming out of the uniform. That's really good. But then what happens to the uniform? Does it like dissolve? Is it kind of an acid that's coming out right now? Or because it just seems weird the way it dissolves.
And I completely forgot about this alien, the Queen.
Yeah, it's
like,
really
I was
ridiculous.
Like, holy shit, really? And you can see it's a really bad composite because the way it links... Like, it's got this purple thing next to it, which sort of... I don't know. It is gross. It is a really big, gross alien. But it is very... I mean, this is post-Alien. I wonder if this is a reference to Alien, because it is chest bursting.
Yeah, it's kind of got that look, too. Like that Geiger look. H.R. Geiger.
But that shows you, like, there's no ribcage left. He is literally hollow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure how he's being controlled. And yeah, why is it opening up like this? It's a very odd effect. It doesn't really connect, because there's light coming from it.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I wonder what the alien's thinking. Oh no, you blew up my head. Let's say hi, fellas. Hello! I surrender. Wouldn't it be great if this is his way of surrender? It's like, I surrender! You know, that'd have been funny. Subtitles. I surrender! Don't hurt me!
I'm a mother with babies.
You killed my children! God, that body, though.
Well, I never noticed. I never noticed all the little bugs afterwards. Yep. Every time I watched this until this time, I always thought it was just goo or part of the explosion. Because it's a remarkably clean room for having had that explosion. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, but look at this body though. That is a graphically amazing body.
Yeah.
But yeah, disintegrates the Queen, like full on disintegrates, and then there's a lot. Oh, actually, you know what they've done? It's exploded and they've fallen out of his stomach. Because you can see. Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to work out where they've come from, but literally, they've just sort of fallen out.
They look like ravioli.
Yeah. And they're all covered in blood too. They've all like died from the inside out as well. That's gross. It's really gross. And that is a lot of... I'm assuming it's creating them as it goes.
Yeah.
So they were like, it's literally work in progress babies. Jeez.
But anyway, it's dead. And back aboard the Enterprise. Quinn will be fine. Quinn's fine, which I assume everybody else, because they said they can't survive without the mother creature. So I assume everybody else that was infected, it just died and rotted in their bodies. I don't know. Or they had to go see the doctor. I got a sore neck. Oh my God. Are they aware of what happened? We don't know all this stuff.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are they conscious while they've been taken over? Is it a dream state? Like, do they, run to the nearest doctor and say, "Ah, there's something in
I
my
would,
neck"?
I would assume they're not completely conscious. That's why they can't access all the memories. But yeah, are they aware of what's going on? You know? Um, but yeah, then signal was sent to the unexplored region of our galaxy. A homing beacon
Mhm.
sent from Earth. Dun
Mhm.
dun
Mhm.
dun. And I remember the first time I watched this going, "Oh my God, that's awful. We're gonna see these guys again. They're gonna come back." I was so like, and then it's just never, never, nothing. So,
And it
but yeah, it was
ends.
very effective at the time. So
And it
yeah,
ends with a very strange ship flies by and we zoom into a nebula slightly with 3D stars, which is very unusual.
with the
Yeah.
like a Morse code kind of signal.
Yeah, what an ending. Although, to be fair, they could be the villains in Star Trek Picard.
Oh, good God!
It
Can you
just took
imagine?
it just took 37 years.
Well, they're far away, I guess.
And why would they have warp? But also, they said a survey team found them, so they're in Federation space, or just outside of it.
Well, that's assuming that Quinn was telling the truth.
True. Yeah, you could retcon that probably quite easily.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
all right, well, that's it for this episode, guys. Conspiracy.
But let's
Uh,
talk about the aliens for a second before we get into our review scores.
all
What
right.
do you think about the aliens as a whole, their plan, like all that stuff?
As a prelude to the Borg coming in, beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
As Borg, or Borg as the
No,
original
Borg as
concept?
the insectoids, the original
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
Because then it makes more sense linking in with the little insectoid bugs, right?
Yeah.
Um, as just those being the sentient race and being literally a parasite, I don't know. I don't think it's kind of scary, I guess, but at the same time, it's just a bug, and easily detectable with the thing on the back of the neck. I don't think it'd be much of a threat, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, later they do this much better in DS9 with the founders, with the
Yeah.
shapeshifters, where you have to get
Yeah.
the blood sample, wait, hold it in a vial, see if it like changes from blood to, so it's actually done much better in that regard, and I think that's what they were kind of going for originally, um, to be scary like that, but it just didn't work out, so I just never revisited it. And then DS9 did it properly. So
Yeah, the tell needed to be like not a hole in the neck. It needed to be like under the shirt somewhere. Like he actually pull up his side and say, "Here's a like it kills the liver and blood vessels form, and so you have a mark there." Like something really subtle like that, and it's like you have to actually see them shirtless. That would make more sense. And
yeah.
if I know that the effects were limited, but the Gould in Stargate they burrow into the neck. They have these 4 claws. They actually, like you can hear that they can crack bone with their claws. It's really easy, so they can burst out very easily. These things, I don't really get the sense. Like if they're going through the mouth, what situation is a situation where the first team was like, "Oh look, an alien." It's like really. Well, they almost ate them and didn't kill them enough, didn't boil them far enough. So just the original infection point, because I picture that the aliens were just chilling out on their own planet. Not a problem. Didn't know space travel existed. They're just having fun. Humans come. They come say hi. They're aliens. They detect higher brain function, and the aliens are like, ooh, other life forms, because they say relish your body. So they're like, ooh, we can experience more senses. In these humanoid set forms. Maybe the queen can move more. Maybe the queen infects the first one. Maybe it's actually a life form capable of stunning, and that would be cool. Because if the first queen infects somebody, or the first mother, then it can then create new little ones. Because who knows? Maybe since the queen controls them all, maybe it is a hive mind like the Borg that the aliens are actually just the queens, and the queens are bigger. They hollow out your body. Maybe the queens actually had like tendrils throughout the legs, so it could actually fully move. And then the babies are just its wireless transmitters that lets it control people. They have semi minds, but they're not the alien. The queen's the alien. And then you create a situation where they can take people over, they can breed, they can whatever, and it becomes more dangerous. Because if the queen already controls a person, then the person can make other people susceptible. But if I have to go through the mouth, that's not easy to, you know what I mean? That's a really specific way of getting through.
Yeah, it would cause way too much trauma to the body.
I mean, I'm sure he could heal more, and once you start infecting people, like the Gould, it gives them enhanced strength, healing, all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's it would have been better if it was simpler. You know how in the Mummy, the first Mummy, the scarabs just infest the body. They just burrow right in. If they were smaller and just burrow instantly, that would be scary. And then they sort of and then they go through your, and then now they're in the brain. Shit, they've now laid eggs in your brain. Like if it wasn't an insect, it was more like just literally goes to the middle of your brain and takes over. That would be more scary to me. Smaller, simpler. I mean, obviously it does work, but it's the functionality of it doesn't necessarily quite connect. And I wonder how they would have done it again. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I must have had more ideas. You know, even with the Borg threat, like what was to more of the idea. I don't know.
Well, anyway.
So yeah, your overall thoughts, Stuart.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I like the fast pace, the quick scenes. It felt like a lot of information, but none of it was filler. It was really well done, well paced.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that. Plus, we got to see Quinn again. You know,
Continuity.
Yeah, very important. And you know, seeing Starfleet headquarters, even though it's footage we've seen before with Wrath of Khan uniforms, was fantastic. It's got a creepy vibe from the Admirals. I mean, you're supposed to, but it really gets you on the right foot for hating Admirals for TNG because most of them are dicks. So, scary threat, not so much. I mean, at the time, I can see what they were going for, but in hindsight, with what came later, like I said, DS9 and the Borg, and the shapeshifters and stuff, there's better ways to do this story. This was not the best. But that being said, it's a really good episode. It's a strong Star Trek episode in overall. Just the fact that Starfleet can be infiltrated, and there's that risk that could happen. Again, plays out much better in DS9 with the way they did it. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it for season 1. I'm going to have to give this a solid 8.5. For all of TNG, probably going to give it a 7. Falls a little bit down on the special effects, the fact that there's such a tell that they're infected, a few things like that, but still an enjoyable episode. And got to admit, on the first watching, it is quite suspenseful to know whether Riker is infected or not, or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, it gets you in those regards. So, those are my scores.
Yeah, good scores. For me, and guys, do put in now in the comments below your out of 10. First score is for TNG Season 1, which we're almost out of, and TNG overall. We'll read those in a minute. And super chat your thoughts if you want us to read them out. Please do, because we're near the end of our live here. Yeah, I think this is a good episode. It's the exact opposite to last week's, which was good concept, lots of talking, never a good payoff. This is good concept, lots of talking, good payoff. Like, this is what last week was trying to be. But I do think there's some slight logical holes in the sense that they just keep flowing through it. And Picard is made to look relatively dumb. If we'd been given a time jump, he could have had a plan. And the crew is so good at this point that they should have had a plan. And it wouldn't take them much to fix that little hole. But I'm sure they were eager to get to the cool moments at the end. They were just like, yeah, we'll just keep going through it. So a few little weak points story-wise. But the continuity is great. Quinn's interesting. Some good visuals that have stuck with me ever since I first watched it, and that's a good sign. And the first scene's good. First character moment scene is good for sure. Acting's good too. I'm gonna give it, I do think you're right, 8.5 for TNG Season 1. It's not the best ever, because there's a few little story beats that are not good. And they just, you gotta be careful. But I think for me, TNG, it's like a 4. I mean, most of 3, 4, 5 are better than this, so it's definitely below average, Like an average TNG is better than this, hands down. But it's that's the thing. Season 1 is different to every other season. So this is a standout of season 1, but it's below average for TNG. As we start to get to later TNG, it'll be like, well, it was a 9 and a 9. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I love the Riker repeat one, time and effect, cause and effect.
Yeah, cause and effect.
That would be like a 9.5 and a 9 for me. It's like, that is amazing. There's very little wrong with it. But there's definitely one of the best ones, and obviously we know by saying 8.5 it's going to be in our top 3 probably of season 1. I think that's probably fair. We'll get there when we get there. And I'm looking forward to next week. Next episode next week. The season finale of TNG Season 1. Stuart, we've got there. Finally. And before we read the super chats and the people, I want to go back to when we started this journey. Because there was an idea I had throughout there. I was like, Stuart, do you want to Discovery was so fun, just want to review TNG? And you were like, yeah.
Hey, I got to jump in for a second, though, and say I think my overall for TNG is a little too high. Because you're right, there are some really great TNGs coming up.
Okay, feel free to change. Okay, take 2. So, Stuart, what's your overall score for this season and your score for this week?
Well, for the season, it's an 8.5. For the actual TNG's total all TNG, give it a 5.
There we go. And we started this journey on May 21st.
Before my birthday.
Yeah. Before everything kicked off, and I have less hair. It's obviously colder because I'm wearing a jacket. Didn't quite get the LCARs right. We were doing it, and yeah. So there we go. It took us a couple of months. We started to look at more.
We had a lot of stuff in there, Vegas and different show news and stuff. So it took us quite a bit to get through it, but we'll try to make.
But it is quite draining to do 3 in a week. Like that's legit. Whoo! Yeah. You know what I mean? So, it would take 26 weeks anyway at the minimum.
Yeah. Jeff Jacobs, though, puts in $3.
Thank you.
Boom. 157 likes. Sweet.
Nice.
9.5 out of 10 for season 1 and 8 out of 10 for all of TNG.
Wow.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99. 9.5 out of 10 for season 1 and 8.5 for TNG. Oof. This was an epic one.
Damn.
Those are mods. Those are both mods too that are saying that.
So I'll be amazed.
Some of the other scores here.
I'll be amazed to see then. Obviously, we know you guys. So when we get to famous ones, if you're like, 7, like whoa, Measure of Man, 6.5. Whoa, Fleet Paw, where, yeah. Any more super chats?
Let's see.
Oh, no.
No.
We'll go to the non-super chat ones.
Classy Cannabis, 10 out of 10. Love the effects and story.
I think effects are good.
Buggy. Ha! Funny. Devo 77X, 8 out of 10. Jarzia says I'm going to give it a 7.5 for the season 1 and 5.5 for TNG. That's closer to mine.
Yeah.
Decent premise, but like the captain said, it's been done better without the shock value. It's less memorable.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. Good point.
Carlo, 9 out of 10 for season 1, 8 out of 10 for TNG.
Whew.
Dale Stafford, 7 out of 10 for season 1, 8 out of 10 for TNG. An 8 and a 6.5 from King Poo.
Wow.
Eugene says a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Probably for season 1, I would assume.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Wow. 10 out of 10 for season 1, Classic Cannabis. Just his opinion. Just my humble opinion, he says. So you think it's the best one out of season 1?
Well, which is why we're intrigued to do the drunk one and say, I'll do the list and I'll say, what is our actual list? I vaguely have an idea.
I might alter some of those scores when you read them back to me during that.
That'll be a few drinks.
Rating system later on when we get to the great seasons, right? Like it's like.
Well, I'm just gonna do the for season 1. Like I just want a review of season 1. It's kind of unfair the rest of them. Although I guess I'll be listening and say what's the top one, but.
Well, have them written down before we start that stream, though. Don't be looking them up on the stream.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll have that's mine. That's what I'm bringing to the stream, and you'll bring booze. I'll bring notes.
Jill47 though puts in $2
Hey,
and says these TNG reviews are fantastic. Yay, Trek Yards. Thank you, Jill. Much appreciated. We have fun doing these
Yes.
and really notice things that we never noticed before.
Yeah.
He'll point out things that I didn't notice. I'll point out things he didn't notice. And the conversation that we generate with the chat and the super chats really opens our eyes to a lot of things. And it's really an in-depth dive into Star Trek. It's really fun. So
It's good. I mean, that's why we're still doing them. You know, a lot of fun. You guys are coming out to support them, and that means a lot to us. So we hope this will be a successful show, and it has been, which is awesome.
That's right. 127 people here, though. If you haven't hit like yet, I know we got quite a good like number right now, but if you haven't hit like, just hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed, guys. Very important because we're going to be doing more. So, but I guess that's it for today. We've 2 hours 15 minutes.
Makes sense to me.
A lot to talk through on this one, so it was fun.
And lots of people super chatted, which is brilliant. Much appreciated. You know, I'm gonna swap thumbnails to tomorrow, or not tomorrow's, but the next ones, which is the neutral zone. And it's funny, I know we had this conversation like right at the start that you didn't think this was the season 1 finale, and when you said that, I was like, yeah, it's conspiracy, isn't it? Like it's so strange to go from this one, which is clearly the end of the season. I mean, and then one more, and then it starts with people in cryosleep.
Well, I hate the way that season 2 starts with the child. I despise that episode.
It's 6 out of 10. That's what you're gonna give it. You're like, oh, my scores are so skewed. It's a 6 out of 10. What's wrong with me? Oh god. On the Blu-ray, it has the next time on Star Trek TNG, and I was amazed to see it reveal the Deredex like right out. So that was when it did close. It's like, ooh, and it's like, no, it's in the trailer. It's right there. Like, people are gonna watch it if they're gonna watch it. You're not gonna grab new people. Oh yeah, I'll just skip the season finale. That's fine. Oh, a big green ship. I'll watch it now. It's like, what? What are you doing? That confused me. Yeah. Are you looking forward to this one, Stuart?
Absolutely.
Because you like
we'll
the
be getting to that
Wombilans.
one. Yeah. Plus, it's Mark. It's the guy who plays Ducat as one of the Romulans.
Mark
and yes, and yeah, it's always great seeing him in anything. So
it amazes me that he's actually quite old. He's way older than you think, like a lot older. That he was in full makeup. That de-aged the hell out of him. He's like, I think it's like 80 or something. I'm gonna Google. He's way older than you think.
And Martin Devon puts in £2. Yay, my episode.
Yay.
Ryan K, maybe we should skip the child. Can't skip any. That's not the point here.
So guess how old Marco Lemos is?
Now? 75.
Ooh, close. 77. Although his last thing he was in was Family Guy in 2010, so I guess he retired.
Yeah, they said that in the What We Left Behind documentary, that he's been retired for a while.
And DS9 was his last big... Oh no, he didn't do much after that. He did DS9 for a lot of years. Yep. And then after he finished that, he didn't do much else. He did one video game in 2001, and then 2 video games, which was easy. And then Family Guy, yeah, so that was... He actually kind of retired after Star Trek. Wow. And he was in, obviously, a lot in the last season. Ah. Cool. I like it. Good to know.
But guys, I think we're going to call it quits for today.
Alrighty. We're not sure we're going to see you next. I'm hoping to do a live on Sunday because, as you guys might know, we had a pretty bad month this last month because of Vegas and stuff in terms of funding. So I might do another one, maybe on Stargate, Jill. Maybe I've got an idea. So you guys can come and join me for that. Stuart's what we've done is sort of taking over a show. Yay. And then we'll do some more next week, and then try and have the drunk one at some point soon. So we know we need at least like 300 people to be at that one, or like at least like 270, 300. So it needs to be a weekend really, because we can't have the same 50 of you giving $20 at a time for drunk. It doesn't really work. So we have a lot of people. So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, this has been fun. Thank you so much.
So, guys, we'll let you know about next week. Probably Monday or Tuesday will be the Neutral Zone review. But just keep your eyes peeled to the YouTube notifications
Yes.
and Facebook group. That'll tell you when it is. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Because Facebook won't, YouTube won't tell you, most likely.
Yes.
So let Facebook be your guide. All right, good night, everyone. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.